Roll the window down. This is not your traffic stop. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to break your window. You are under arrest for obstruction of justice. Thank you.
See over here. They are Russian airborne forces.
I address you today as your queen.
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you dumb?
I think she's
I
dumb.
think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb. Are you, like, medically speaking, are you
like, I'm not trying to be mean. Like, are you dumb?
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb.
I think she's dumb. I think she, you
Oh.
think she's...
What are you doing? I'm trying to turn this complaint in. Yeah. For what? I'm trying to walk in, you know, give him my complaints like I'm supposed to, filming.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's turn this back on, but really low. Yeah, how's it going? It's been a little while. Whoa, that's louder than I freaking intended. We can drag that way the hell down there. Probably gonna just turn it off in the background at some point. But hey, how's it going, everybody? It's been a little while. Yes, I'm wearing a pink and white shirt. I'm peacocking. Actually, I'd wear a brighter shirt than this if I was peacocking. But, you know, it's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt. Although, I will say that it's mostly white because it actually becomes more white as you go down. And I don't buy white shirts typically. They don't stay white. So that's all there is to it. Is this safe to watch while I eat dinner? Asking for a friend. Oh, yeah. Safe to... Well, I mean, Direct D's going to be Direct D. He's going to swear a little. Don't worry. There's going to be an earmuff warning. So if you got little ones around, I will warn you in advance that this may not be the one you want to listen to speakerphone, like on speakerphone. That's all. Like, you know, if there's people with sensitivities around, you want to maybe take them into consideration, just a wee bit. Sure thing. No stuff saying no talk. I'll just. Oh, I mean, no, whatever. I mean, if we talk about it, we talk about it. I'm just, yeah, we're not any agenda here. Rotten Apples news is welcome. Everybody try to be nice. We have our hey, listen, if you want to be like our tokens state national in the chat, I am happy to have you, sir. Everybody's got to have like big fans, right? I'm just being a dick. But anyways, we got Mr. Lowkey, Facty, Heat Shield, Elizabeth Sylvester, Vegas Baby Girl, Killer Kev, Veronica Foster, Rotten Apple News. There you are, buddy. I see you. Don't worry. Heat Shield, Tesla Ray. I like to have fun. I'm a fun guy. It's all good. We can all get along. I think we can all get along. Strange Lex 790, Lemon Tart 83, Mr. Loki. Oh, I'm bust. I did you get already. Killer Cuds. Man, I'm kind of rusty on the stream thing right now. I gotta start doing this more often. Just get back to limberness, you know. Got Anacito Maldonado. Your name, by the way, every time I see it, I just think of Tiger King. Because what was his name? Oh, Screaming Beaver. Wait, 666. Aw, thank you. Hail Satan. 666. This is a classic joke from the Flurf days, everybody. NANA still very much frequents the anti-flat earth channels. But they're big into demonology. I think Rotten Apples may or may not be more into that kind of stuff. I think he's a little bit more religious, but either way, like, that's where the 666 comes from, because they would read too much into numbers. I was at 33 UC would he'd showed a Roman numeral 3, and he was like 33. And I'm like, in what world is that 3? That's one of my favorite moments. I had the argument with him. I'm like, hold on. He tried to shift subject. I'm like, hold on. No. I'm like, if you're counting years in prison, this is a 3. I was like, there's no world. It was just the funniest. Anyways, that's the old flat earth content. So if you go back far enough into my channel, you get into that stuff. Flat Derp, how's it going, buddy? We're gonna get into this right away because I don't want to delay. Okay, so this is actually an hour-long video. Now I heard Artie, that son of a bitch Artie out there. Listen, Artie, I'm looking at you. Okay, I was listening to your stream and I heard somebody say something about Direct D to you. That is mine. You stay off. I'm just kidding. But all jokes aside, I had this all queued up and I was like, damn. I was like, well, I better get on it before Artie takes my thunder. So here I am, to muster the few people that want to join the Circle of Beaver, or whatever you want to call this. Wait, didn't somebody say it's Vanilla Club? Something like that. Anyways, we'll just go straight to Direct D here. Let's, I think I have this, yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, NANA, thank you very much for the 666. I didn't properly thank you. I'm getting wasted. You know, fuck, I got Kraken right here. I could drink with you. Hold on, let's do this. I'm self-employed, man. I can drink on a fucking, what is it, Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Okay, hold on. All right, I pulled all the booze down here. I'll turn the camera on for one more second. Okay, I get all saucy when I drink, so let's see here. We got, ooh, Screaming Beaver's always good. Appleton Estates, we're really low on that, though. It's harsh. We got Kraken coming in at 47%. It's a pretty rough day. And then we have this. It's literally, so as soon as the Screaming Beaver is done, I'm going to describe this to people, okay? If people who have been here know this, okay? Thank you very much. Also for the using your gifted 10 fucking memberships. Holy shit. Okay. I will turn the Screaming Beaver down so that we're not lambasted by it. Just a little bit, and I will introduce all the new members in a minute. And no, I have not forgotten I have a damn thing of makeup beside me, and somebody promised a Twisted Sister because why not, I guess. So there's that. The Screaming Beaver is very disruptive. Here, I'm going to turn it down. We can't do 10 Screaming Beavers, okay? I'm sorry, we'll turn it down for now. So, to finish this before we have a shot and we get going on Direct D, for people who are new to the channel, this is Maple Crown Royal. And the best way to describe the flavor, it's like you're tonguing Aunt Jemima's ass. Like, it's alcohol, and it's not even like baby alcohol. It's 40%, so it's not like any of that like fake stuff. But it's like, I don't know. It's like a really bad day with some really like rough flapjacks in the morning is kind of the best way to describe it. But you know, we're just gonna go for this. Cheers. I could add some of my coffee, but that'd fuck my coffee up. Oh yeah, Aunt Jemima's right there with me right now. It's like we're making out. Anyways, start with the one shot and then we'll move forward. So, hey, thanks for drinking with me, NANA. And by the way, thank you for the 10 memberships. They're still coming in. I think that's... God darn it. Well, listen, holy shit, how many was there? USA got one, Strange Lex 790, Killicuts, Flat Derp got one, Killakev, Frayed Edges, Phil DeOrk, Raul, oh, man, alcohol's not even kicked in and I suck. Raul Hernandez, Jesus, and then, oh man, Vanilla Fight Club. Is that all of them? That was 10, right? Well, thank you. Congratulations. Welcome to the membership. If you weren't part of that conversation, I had at some point, months and months ago now, promised to go full Twisted Sister on a member stream because I guess I'm a freak. And it's going to happen because I made promises and it has to happen. So anyways, to the show. So, yeah. So, okay. Earmuff warning. I mean, it's pretty late. So it's like almost like, are there kids at the bar? But at the same time, you know, like maybe your kids are up later. If they are, I'm just going to let you know that especially in this first little chunk right here, that you're just going to be, your senses are going to be slammed a little bit. So just keep that in mind and we'll just kind of roll forward a bit. You seem very calm and collected. I'm actually going to skip past this bullshit and get to this. Buddy. Yo. Yo. Leaders and public safety. Get out of here, so I can get on camera. Bad number. Fucking shit. Bad piggy, bad piggy. Get used to it. Fuck you. Get used to it. Piece of shit. Hey, Anna, you're being too nice to me. 10 memberships and $66 plus $666. You're being too nice, man. I really appreciate it. I do. That's crazy. Yep. You get Screaming Beaver turned back up. Yeah, that gets a Screaming Beaver, and it gets a cheers. Okay, listen. We have to do this early. NANA triggered it, everybody. Everybody knows how this works. This is what happens when you donate a bunch of American ducats to me.
$1.83 American. What are we gonna get with that? Gotta love that exchange rate.
And then we do the sumarial pause in the center, right like that, so we don't upset the copyright gods.
Dinner is served. Would the masters care for anything else?
I think we're good. Thanks.
All right. Remember, everybody, this is American money, okay? This is American money we're dealing with right here, okay? So just keep that in your mind. And I think we're in Bratislava, so you're very strong currency at this point.
Oh, nickel. You see this? quit. I open
Yeah,
my own
guys, he's opening his own hotel. All right, this is how I want you to know how your money makes me feel. Okay, I really do. I've told you before, I'm stuck over here with Canadian ducats. It's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay.
Bad piggy, bad piggy.
Thank you very much, NANA. Cheers. I will do a shot with you. I guess you earned another shot. One more shot. One more shot for the. I can't. Okay, when I open this, we'll have another shot. You guys watch TV. You guys watch the shit here. God damn. It's like hardened on.
You solicited a trespass, you
There it
stupid
is.
son of a bitch.
Soliciting a trespass.
You solicited it. We watched you. You fucking idiot. Deuce, how fucking dumb can you be? How fucking dumb can you be, motherfucker? How fucking dumb can you be, motherfucker? You solicited a trespass. You stupid piece of fucking shit.
Hey, Phil, thank you very much for the $1.99. And I think I've said this before. If you haven't heard me say it, it's not about every donation helps. I really appreciate it. It all helps around the channel. And yeah, $1.99. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Really do. Can't do 186, so you get 13 more. It's true. When I do it, I used to do 2, and you'd get like 1 something American if you were an American tuber, and now I pay like, I don't know, I think they charge me more so they get a $2 donation. They change suddenly. I'm like, oh, it's like 60 cents more they're charging me.
Fuck you, Deuce. You fucking punk motherfucker.
I got my shot ready when we're done. I'll have a swig in a second here.
Fuck you, dude. You are a straight piece of shit, Deuce. I'm gonna make you famous again. It's Chris here again, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna make you famous again, you stupid son of a bitch.
Whereas if it's that hard to get the lid off of a bottle of alcohol, doesn't that mean there's a ton of sugar in it? Like, it's goddamn rum. Like, should there... I mean, I guess so. It's made of sugar, isn't it?
Fuck you, dude.
It just shows how little I know about making alcohol, to be honest with you.
Are you hiding? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cane sugar, isn't it?
Sorry about my language, everybody. I figure it's late, so,
No, it's very fucking necessary right now.
Okay, so just to give some context, this person saying it's very necessary is not like some citizen, like, no, you're right, they're tyrants. It's like his bro behind him. It's like, he's just like, don't worry, D, I got your back, bro. It's almost beautiful if you think about it, right?
pieces of shit right here.
You need sugar for all spirits except wine. That makes sense. Do you want me to go over and help you? Hey, listen. It was very tight, okay? And I got it. Look, we got this. See? I didn't need anybody's help, and I didn't warm it up under the tap. So it's 50% almost, though. You're gonna have a nice modest shot. Oh God, Phil. Oh fuck, Phil. Okay, this is for Phil. Oh, Phil. Before I say this though, honestly, it wasn't. I hope I didn't make you feel guilty. I honestly meant it like, oh, I don't drink alcohol a lot. That hurts. I meant it along the lines of like, honestly, $2 is that. If you took it the other way, and I don't think you did, but if you did, then I do apologize. Don't worry. I mean it more in the sense of like every donation is amazing. Yeah, Phil, you give me $2 donation. It's more money than I'll ever get off of YouTube AdSense from you watching my videos. So I do appreciate it.
Detained under
And $20, by the way, that's not an insignificant donation in any way at that point, especially. So I thank you as well.
Bye-bye, dumbass.
Oh, my throat is on fire. Ugh. Okay, that might be the end of the Kraken for me. I'm a little. This is like a mix with pop kind of rum, I think.
Fuck you.
They left as quick as they showed up.
So the only thing I want to go back to, I think, and I was talking and drinking there, so that's kind of my fault. But I just want to go back to this. Well, there's two sections. This part here. Okay, now they've already been trespassed at this point, and this is when he runs. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't like, and I don't know where the property line is. Let's face it.
You solicited a trespass, you stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, my burp tasted like hate.
You solicited it. We watched you. You fucking idiot. Deuce, how fucking dumb can you be? How fucking dumb can you be, motherfucker?
Earmuff warning.
How fucking dumb can you be, motherfucker? You solicited a trespass. You stupid piece of fucking shit. Fuck you, Deuce. You fucking punk motherfucker.
So, like, what I want you to kind of make note of, because this is where the trial, this is what they're going to talk about in the trial here, because that's what we're going to next year. So what I want you to kind of make note of is the level of aggression. And not only that, like, look at this. I don't know who this is, this guy in frame here. But look how close to the officer he gets. He gets, well, arguably, he's within an arm's reach at a lot of points here, you'll see.
Fuck you, dude. You are a straight piece of shit, Deuce. I'm gonna make you famous again. It's Chris here again, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna make you famous again, you stupid son of a bitch.
Hey, why does Mesa have to act like this?
Fuck you, dude.
This makes no fucking sense. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Are you hiding? Yeah.
I'll be hungover for work. Don't be like me.
I figure it's late, so
You know what'll happen to me is I don't drink a lot of alcohol, so I'll start losing the feeling in my teeth a little bit, and then I'll probably dig through the freezer when we're done streaming and try to find some like mild Italian sausages, and I will muck so hard on sausages. It'll be like midnight, 1 a.m, and I'll be grilling fucking sausages, just really happy with myself. It's like a reoccurring thing with alcohol. I don't know what it is. Alcohol. You give me alcohol, I'm gonna find some Italian sausages somewhere in here. Like that freezer's huge. There's gonna be an Italian sausage in there somewhere. I'll find it. It's like, hey, call me Sausage Beaver. I'll tell you right now, I can contact Team Skeptic at any day of the week, and the guy is eating a sausage, and that is not a euphemism. Like, son of a bitch lives like with a barbecue attached to his hip or something. He's like, I swear to God, he's got like a fanny pack barbecue or something.
Fucking necessary right now.
straight pieces of shit right here.
Or a steak, absolutely. No, I'm gonna tell you right now. Listen, I'm serious when I say this. Listen, I will have a fucking 1 a.m. and I'll be like talking to Team Skeptic like on Discord, and he's like, "Hey man, I'll be back in a bit. I'm cooking something on the barbecue." He's got like steaks, or chops. Fucking, it's always some sort of like, it's a meat form. It's always meat. It's like, no wonder he's so lean. The guy's just living on the souls of dead animals, which, I mean, I do too, but like, I don't think Team Skeptic eats any any actual fat content. I think everything's like lean proteins. He's not a toothpick. He's aggressively aerodynamic, photogenic.
Tyrant piece of shit.
A true Texan. It's true.
Oh, I was detained under suspicion.
Detained under suspicion.
As soon as I said it's a misdemeanor or felony, he goes, oh.
So anyways, that's why I went and replayed that again, because I just wanted to kind of play the source content of what we're coming from here. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. Thank you everybody who's donated. Wow. 10 memberships, $66 plus the $666, and then $20 from, well, plus 2 from Phil. It was Phil. Yeah. That's already more than I would normally take in, so I really appreciate it, guys. That's amazing. Let's just keep rolling. So he, like all of them do, posted his court audio because he thinks it proves something other than that he's an idiot. And that's basically where we'll start off.
That was to try and establish a boundary to protect our scene involving our
Well, we can't even let Direct D tell you what he thinks is happening here. In fact, let's go back 10 more seconds.
Fuck you. They left as quick as they showed up.
Here, we'll let Direct D introduce the clips.
All right, now this is the audio from the trial. It's never been heard before, and
Holy shit. Like, they don't do any control over the audio levels.
I cut it down to the juiciest parts. I skipped all the stuff in between. There's no silent parts. It's all talking, and you get to clearly hear how they feel.
Don't worry, we can clearly hear it, D. Next time, I'll give you a little hint. See that little thing over on the side when you're editing a video? It shows you, like, the audio levels. If the previous clip is, like, hitting, let's say, like, I don't know, I'll just use an example, like -4. You try to make it so the next clip isn't pinging up 0 decibel. You want to make sure that if the one clip comes in -4, the next one's kind of -4-ish. Yeah, they can go up and down a little bit, but just a little editing tip for you, because people otherwise they have to hunt their audio. That's just stupid. Try to be a better creator.
About
He's got 180,000 subscribers and he's still making trash edit.
people that use bad language in general. I mean, it's really sad, and you need to pay close attention because this has consequences for every American, not just for me. If they can get away with convicting
Chris
me
likes
for
to
saying
dabble in state national territory while swimming in the ocean, and he drowns. Well, he's found guilty on this one too. And actually, by the way, on that note, we will speed it up because it is an hour long, and we don't want to be taking forever.
you and calling a police officer a piece of shit or a punk, that means that the future of America and the freedom of speech is seriously in danger.
So at this point, our officers.
See, now look. See my point? Now look it. I have to now turn the fucking volume up, Chris. That's my point right there.
For saying fuck you and calling a police officer a piece of shit.
Like right now, you're coming in at like I don't even know. It's not an editing screen, so I have little pingers over here, but I mean, it doesn't line up with numbers. But either way, let's say you get what I mean. Like,
Or a punk, that means
it just
that the future
drops.
of
The
America
volume
and the
just
freedom of
kicks
speech
down.
is seriously in danger.
It's such a small thing, but I'm going to tell you right now, you guys have no idea how much time on some videos I spend modifying the audio so you have a decent experience. Because you got cars going by, you've got people that are shouting 1 second and talking the next, and it's if I just like did what these assholes do and I dropped the audio in and let it play, the videos would be very jarring at times. But they don't really do edits. They just kind of push shit together. But no, don't worry. I'll turn this way back up again now, Chris.
They're taking down the tape, everyone, the officers, I mean, we're leaving the scene at that point. We were done. We were leaving the scene.
Okay. So at some point, you guys put up crime scene tape.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
one
like way up. So I'm going to apologize right now in advance for the moment when he does something here where he fucks with the audio and it comes in really loud. Because he's cranked.
Try and establish a boundary to protect our scene involving our subject that we are investigating.
Okay. So despite the clear advisement that they weren't allowed on the property, that they needed to be on the sidewalk, and despite the fact that the sidewalk and the asphalt are clearly delineated.
Yeah, Killing Kev nailed it. Audio's key. If you had to pick between having a decent camera or having a decent microphone, I would pick the decent microphone first. People will literally watch, like, go look at gaming content. People will watch you play pixelated content as long as you sound good and you're talking to them. But if you sound like shit, you could have the best picture on earth. Nobody's going to stick around for that at all.
You had to put up crime scene tape in order to try to get people to stay out of the scene?
Correct. There were so many of them, and they were causing such a disturbance.
He does it
that
just to mess
we
with
felt we
you?
had to take further measures to try and maintain the order there at the scene.
Okay, and again, the person saying, the voice that you hear,
Yes.
do you recognize that voice?
Yes.
Okay, whose voice is that?
Christopher Ruff.
Okay, is that you on the left side of the screen?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You're still not in the vehicle, and all of the other vehicles are leaving, correct?
Correct.
The individual, do you recognize the individual who's also on the left side of the screen and wearing a black baseball cap with a gray t-shirt?
Yes, the individual in this depiction on my right with the gray long sleeve shirt and the black cap with his back to us is Christopher Ruff.
Okay. Do you recognize this video?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who is actually doing the recording in this video?
I recognize the voice that's
Okay.
prominent in the video.
And whose voice do you recognize that to be?
Christopher Ruff's.
Okay. Let me play a little bit more for you. Based on what you see in this video, do you believe that Christopher Ruff was the person recording this video?
Yes, 100%.
Is this an accurate representation of the events of that night?
Yes, they are.
You're on the state move to admit Exhibit 2 into evidence.
Mr. Ruff, I know you objected previously. You want to
See, right here, I'm pretty sure he objects to the video.
the objection is noted. So the rule.
You're all by yourself while this is happening, correct?
His objection was overruled if you didn't catch it. It's a little quick at 1.5.
Yes, please.
Has everybody else left the scene at this point?
Yes.
Now, you seem very calm and collected during this interaction. Did the defendant's behavior disturb your peace?
Absolutely. The words that they're using, those are fighting words. Those are insulting words. Those are words that you use when you're wanting to insult or provoke someone. I remained professional at the time. I didn't respond to their insults and their harassment. As a professional police officer, that's what I do. However, because of the fact that I remained calm and professional does not mean that I was not annoyed or harassed or disturbed.
Now, surely as a police officer, you encounter an F word here and there.
Certainly.
Okay. So what was it about the length or the intensity of this exchange that disturbed your peace?
Well, as you hear in the video, Mr. Ruff identifies himself as Chris, as being the person making the insults. And he also, he doesn't just call one or two insults, he repeatedly, over and over, using words like punk, using profanity, using obscene language. There's no one else around, no members of the public there. There's no investigation for them to record or to look into.
That's Chris. Chris just did that. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it, bud.
Didn't appear to me.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna. So now I'll turn that down for everybody because because you didn't.
That they were there for any other purpose than just to harass and annoy and follow me, and on my way to my vehicle as I'm leaving the scene.
Now, he's really close to you at this point in the video. Was he this close to you during the previous, whatever it was, 30 or 45 minutes that he was on scene?
No, because for the most part, they, after we told them and to get on the sidewalk, they reluctantly did so after a whole lot of persuasion. They stayed, they meaning Mr. Ruff and the group, stayed in the sidewalk area trying to record us while we were doing our investigation. So after that investigation was over, and as we started to disperse, they became a little bit more brave, if you want to call it that. You saw in the video several of them step back onto the property and trespass after we told them not to. And that's as we were leaving. So and then at that point, Mr. Ruff, basically he's right in my face at that point, just a few feet from me, shining his light in my face, using profanity at me, insulting me. And
do you believe that
I think that's right here.
Motherfucker, how fucking dumb can you be, motherfucker? You solicited a trespass. You stupid piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, so he's right up in his grill. Damn, I wasn't paying attention. I lost where we were because I'm an idiot.
So what was it about the length or the intensity of...
They, after we told them, and
yeah,
they were no longer there and they were leaving?
I think that's a reasonable inference that you could make.
There it is.
Profanity at me, insulting me, and...
Do you believe that the defendant and others present became more bold because the other officers were no longer there and they were leaving?
I think that's a reasonable inference that you could make.
Did Mr. Ruff go back onto the property in order to get that close to you?
I believe he did.
I'm sorry, close the question? Go ahead.
Did Mr. Ruff go back onto the property in order to get this close to you?
And your objection was hearsay. Hearsay. Well, it's not a statement. It's whether or not the officer actually observed you.
I like these moments a little bit more, though.
When he's asking to what my intent was on why I walked around the front of a vehicle to get closer to him, that's hearsay. It doesn't have any relevance to trespassing or whatever we're going through.
Well, I think where they're going, Mr. Ruff, is they're going to the issue of disorderly conduct, perhaps. But I noted your objection. It is overruled. Go ahead.
That's such horse shit. He's telling everybody else they have ADHD. I'm almost certain that wasn't the question. Hold on.
Were no longer there and they were leaving?
I think that's a reasonable inference that you could make.
Did Mr. Ruff go back onto the property in order to get that close to you?
I believe he did.
I'm sorry, close the question? Go ahead.
Did Mr. Ruff go back onto the property in order to get this close to you?
And your objection was hearsay. Hearsay. Well, it's not a statement. It's whether or not the officer actually observed you doing that. When he's
Who in the world wouldn't think that that's right there where he's standing? Look at, because I do remember at one point he makes the claim that, like, well, I'm on a speed bump.
Did Mr. Ruff go back onto the property in order to get this close to you?
But that speed bump is probably directly on the fucking property. Like, I don't understand in what world he lives in that he doesn't think that's the property. But anyways, that's why we're here.
Hearsay. Well, it's not a statement. It's whether or not the officer actually observed you doing that.
When he's asking to what my intent was on why I walked around the front of a vehicle to get closer to him, that's hearsay. It doesn't have any relevance.
He didn't ask what your intent was. He said, did he trespass? Wasn't the question? Oh, man, my squirrel is already off the chart, too. So I don't remember exactly what the question was, but I remember being like, no, that's not what the question was.
To trespassing or whatever we're going through.
Well, I think where they're going, Mr. Ruff, is they're going to the issue of disorderly conduct, perhaps. But I noted your objection. It is overruled. Go ahead.
He knows it's the property. Now he's maybe not on the property, but even then, I think directly to his right is the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, whatever it is. Ha, right. What the fuck? Oh man, my phone did that thing where it... I hate this. It's like a bug on YouTube that if you're watching something... I don't even have YouTube on my phone. Apps.
I think you said you believe he went back on, but you can't be completely sure. Is that right?
Yes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's captured on a video, perhaps, of him being on the property afterwards. My own individual recollection, like, for example, right here in this video, do I know exactly where he's standing? I don't know.
Okay.
But it's my belief that he is on the property at that point.
I understand. Now I'm going to move to Exhibit 3.
Mr. Ruff, same objection.
I mean, his journey in Canada fact, he'd be very similar, I imagine. I mean, you know, we have, generally speaking, we have all the same rights as Americans, barring, I don't know, was it Fourth Amendment? Guns or whatever? We don't technically have a right to bear arms. We're allowed to bear arms. I have lots of guns.
Same objection.
I mean, we're allowed to have a license if we're a good boy that allows us to bear, you know what I mean?
No, that is the rule.
When you get surrounded by a number of individuals
Second?
like that,
Why did I say fourth? I know it's, you're right. I do know it's the right? Second Amendment? Yes, of course. My Second Amendment right? Yeah, that's right. There are Canadian frauditors. There's only 40 million of us, Rotten Apple News. So, I mean, just in quantity of numbers, the issue tends to be that we just don't have critical mass like you guys do for this kind of stuff. So, we do. It's just that, like, with 10x the population and, you know, like, there's just a lot more of it going on. Plus, certain parts of your Constitution, I'm going to be truthful with you, there's certain ways, the way your Constitution is set up, it allows for this a little bit more than say, our Bill of Rights does, because it doesn't have so many contradictory little things kind of baked into it that allow this and don't allow that. So there's a little bit more debate that needs to happen under a lot of American laws than there is in some other countries. But generally speaking, I mean, people be like, you don't have a Constitution. They'll say that to me sometimes. I'm like, my fucking Bill of Rights is basically like a carbon copy. It's just written in a different handprint and, you know, on a different size chunk of scroll or something. But it's generally very similar, right? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, Canada's like baby brother America. I mean, you know, if America does something fucking stupid, like, we're going to do something fucking stupid too, probably. Good chance. There's a really good chance. Like, little differences. But, you know, generally speaking, like, you know, whatever America does, we're like, yeah, that seems like a great fucking idea, I guess, huh? Like, so, you know, you can take that as a pride thing or whatever. But I mean, you know, hey, capitalism works, you know? That's why we're all partying on the same continent here. What am I doing? Fucking pressing that button.
close proximity, what concerns you about that situation?
Well, obviously,
the word have gives power to their illusory authority.
Insulted,
Charter of
being
Rights?
surrounded by a group of
That's my Charter of Rights?
individuals
Yeah, you're
there, who do not like you, and could easily...
You don't hear Canadians saying, my Charter of Rights. You know, like, they definitely wouldn't say it like that because that's not a Canadian accent. But you get what I mean. It's a different... I don't want to piss people off when I say this because I love you guys, all the Americans watching. But I do think that there's a certain amount of brainwashing involved with the whole America #1 thing. Obviously, patriotism is absolutely not to be frowned upon. Patriotism is fantastic, and all countries should have strong patriotism. And honestly, America is obviously right up there. So, like, that's fantastic. But, you know, in a lot of ways, they've spent a lot of time telling America how, like, Americans in school and stuff, how great America is. There's to a kind of a point of fault, though, to the point where it's I don't know, I can't remember where I was going with that originally, but, you know, it's not to say anything negative about it or whatever, but it kind of clouds things a little bit sometimes, and it creates this level of, like, how do I say it? It's kind of like you're so, like, the people that get caught up into this, and I don't know, Rotten Apple News, obviously, a lot of the people in the audience are going to disagree with you on a lot of things. So, I mean, you know, obviously take what I say with a grain. But that's why we end up getting those kinds of people, because they like people like Christopher, because, and you'll hear it here, and I'll let him get there because I'm talking and I should be letting him talk, because you'll hear him say that. But he literally believes that because police officers are excluded from like harassment, like you it's like the way it's written is you technically can't harass a police officer, that he can basically follow, and he says it to the judge, that he can follow the cop around all day long screaming obscenities into his ear. Christopher sees no problem with that because his rights say he can do that. Now, the problem is, and that's what I'm talking about, the problem is that he's been indoctrinated to a point of think that he's so free that he doesn't even need to consider the fact that the people around him are humans, and that maybe those rules were designed with a certain level of like understanding that people had a general way of behaving in society. So he takes the attitude of like, but they don't tell me I can't do that. And it's like, because people didn't used to just follow them around and yell F you into their ear because they could. Like, yeah, maybe you'd get one asshole doing it, but you didn't get a bunch of assholes doing it. So it's like, well, they don't like, hold on. I actually have one thing I can define it. It'll literally, I'll end it on this because I can define it with one image. It's not illegal. It's, yep. This is basically, this one clip emphasizes exactly what Christopher does when he goes out and does this.
Chief, can I have a word? Yeah, but first, you have to agree there's a huge difference.
We'll just skip forward here. It's this one.
About it at all.
Hi, Chief.
Hi. This isn't fair.
Right
Swanson, you know your assignment. You get me the guy who's been rubbing his butt all over Dunkin' Donuts.
Can I help you? Not illegal, not illegal. Show me the law, not illegal.
I mean, that's basically what Chris is doing. That's what he's doing right there.
Not illegal, not illegal. Show me the law, not illegal.
He's basically saying, like, there's no law that says I can't wipe my ass on your fucking countertop. But yeah, because people just made the assumption you don't wipe your ass on the countertop. So for him to say, well, the law specifically says I can harass police, it doesn't say, it says I can't harass police, so everything I do can't be categorized as any sort of harassment or disturbing the peace. I grew up in the mid-'80s or 90s, and here in the United States, then and now, patriotism has more state-run propaganda we're all forced to accept. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, so Phoenix gets it. Like, I'm not trying to degrade any sort of ideas of patriotism. America's got a lot of things to be proud of, okay? So, like, nobody here is ever going to try to take that away from you. But, like, it does, yeah, like, I do believe that they spend a lot of time telling American people how great they are to try to convince them that to try to make it so they don't see the things that are wrong. Because every society has things they could do better. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, like when, it's like the character creator, you know, when if you're a video game player, you'll understand, like, you get so many points in the character creator, and it's like if you can swim really good, you might not be able to run very fast, or if you can fucking jump really high, you might not be able to swing your sword real good. Like, if you know, you only get so many points on there. And yes, some countries have larger banks of points, let's say, in this case, because I mean, to compare like Burundi or something like that to America would be like in the amount of character creation points they get. But at some point, you're going to have some aspect of society that's maybe not healthy. And, you know, I mean, if anybody could, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's, you know, somebody could find one for Canada and be like this, and I'd be like, fucking rights. like fucking dumb, you know? Like, anyways, so that's not what we want. Let's get back to Direct D, or we'll never get her. I see plenty wrong here. Let me mention a few. Our for-profit prison systems. Hey, listen, without getting into, healthcare and all that stuff, and guns. And you know what? I'm just going to stay away from guns because it just creates so much animosity, and I just don't. But yeah, I understand. Now, the only thing I will say is the for-profit prisons. Like, how in the world can you make a profit-based prison system and not expect the prisoners to be fucking shafted at the end? Or like, of course there's going to be corruption and like a judge somewhere that's sending people to a prison and getting kickbacks and stuff because they make money off of incarcerating of human beings. Like, I don't believe personally, my personal belief is that prisons should never be a profit-based system. They should be run at cost, properly and efficiently, but at cost by the government to ensure that there is nobody making money other than the people that are employed keeping the establishment running. Because when you've got somebody at the end of the chain that's making money, the only way they can make more money is to either get more people in their system or lower the quality of the care of the people they're taking care of, which means you're not doing mental health activities, you're not like doing training and stuff like that. So then you just end up with a whole bunch of retards that are, I mean, sorry, YouTube, I mean that more like I meant it as the derogatory way, because you end up with all these people coming out that, bad word, that don't know how to do anything. They can't put a birdhouse together because nobody taught them anything. So, you know, I don't get me wrong. I don't think we need to bring them all fluffy bunnies and tell them they're all special souls and tuck them in their beds. But, you know, you got to give people hope. If you don't give people hope, even it doesn't matter whether they're a hardened killer or they're just some kid that stole a fucking O. Henry. You still need to provide some level of hope. And if you don't, people will have nothing to work towards. And that's just the way it works. So, and if there's profit involved, how do you do that? You can only do it by cutting away things. Judges get a kickback in campaign. Well, fuck, they just found Clarence, the one of your federal goddamn, the African-American gentleman. They just found he was taking... It would have cost something like $500,000 to charter the yacht. He was just like, take my yacht. Here's the keys. You know, go for a little spinny spin. And he was claiming none of it.
Or into an assault on me or others.
I assume you don't know any of these guys personally.
I don't understand giving people a permanent judge position, by the way. That's all I'm going to add.
I have dealt with Mr. Ruff on previous occasions. The others...
that goes for ours, too. We have a similar system.
Like that show up before on a call, but I dealt with Mr. Ruff previously.
And while it appears they're there to record, do you know their actual intentions?
We don't know their intentions, no, but all we can tell is by what they're saying and doing, which was clearly harassing us, violating the law by trespassing, and insulting, provoking us, using words that you would use to fight, that you would want someone to fight you with.
Based on your interaction with these individuals on that night, did you feel like they were hostile towards police?
100%.
Nah, come on. They were just trying to invite that nice officer out for a cup of tea.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination. Sergeant Deuce, did you...
Yeah, it was, they just added Supreme Court justices gifts that they now... Yeah, but I think it was like... Yeah, you're right. They did just change the rules. So the fact that he hadn't been claiming it was like, yeah, he's... Yeah, I think we have a Senate, right? That's very similar, Keith. Yeah, he had been collecting kickbacks and stuff. The system you speak of is a corporation and the humans are money and expendable. Yeah, I mean, I guess... I mean, the thing is, Rotten Apple News, is that humans are worth money to the government, but not the way... I don't agree with you in the way that we're worth money. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, that's where Putin, for instance, is sending his men in waves at the Ukrainians. Like, he don't give a fuck, because to him, they're just a tool. And really, at the end of the day, you are a statistic to your government. So, like, yeah, I mean, if that scares you, I'm sorry, but it doesn't scare me. Because, I mean, you know, when there's, like, let's say, 360-ish million or 350 million Americans, 340, something like that. I mean, you know, sorry, but, you know, they don't know you as Steve or Phil or Bill. They just know you as that guy that was born 19 fucking whatever, and, you know, he's green eyes and it's 162 inches, right? And he, you know, he has a degree or he makes this much a year. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, your productivity is part of what makes the country productive and makes it money. So, I mean, but see, it's funny, is I bumped into one of these guys actually recently, and he was like, it was only like, I think it was like the next month, is like, I realized, I'm like, fuck, he was a sovereign citizen. He's living, but, you know, life's been hard for him. He's living in a trailer park and stuff. So, and not, trailer parks are fine. His trailer was extra bare. So had some nice bow and arrows though. I guess he was an interesting guy. I don't want to, he was a nice guy, but I mean, I was like, he said something about crypto. And I was like, crypto's good. You don't want to, it's good for fun, and make a little bit of money. If you do it right, you can make some money, but I wouldn't put your whole everything into it. He's like, oh, I'm all in. I'm like, it's been a rough year though, hasn't it then? Like, fuck, it's just, anyways. And meanwhile, like, he's probably into crypto because he's anti-establishment, and he can't even, like, does he think the government doesn't know exactly how much crypto he has? All of those exchanges report everything to the government, especially in Canada. Like, my mom will be like, oh, if they ever regulate crypto. I'm like, ever regulate crypto? America's one of the only countries left in the world that has as little regulation in crypto as it has. Everybody else, America keeps talking about regulating crypto like it's this thing that's like going to destroy it. And every other country's already had regulated crypto for years. Like, I got an email like 5 years ago that FinTrack has all of my trading from CoinSquare or whatever. It's like, okay, sure. I figured, like, I got a stream brownie. My wife made fresh brownies, and I knew I'd be streaming, and I asked if I could get a stream brownie. They are talking about making a United States federal digital coin.
Say you need to get off the property.
Yeah, but they can't ban my DAI before I cash out, okay? So help me God, if Coinbase stops using, like, just know, okay? I need to turn that back into actual usable money. It's stuck in crypto form right now. Just know. Not yet.
You're trespassing now.
You saw the video.
I want my super check back, but not in Canadian dollars, damn it.
I told you.
Damn it, I sent another one. That's right. Hey, Phil, thank you for the $4.99. I really appreciate it. American, too, by the way. That's right. I will take your American ducats and I will rub them on myself.
No, that's not what I asked you.
I really appreciate it.
Tell me that I was trespassing and that I need to leave the property.
Okay, hold on. Wait, hey, I gotta stop talking. I'm sorry. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna take a bite of this brownie. We're gonna listen to direct talk, okay?
The property owner didn't want me there.
I told you to get off the property. Did I say the word trespassing? I don't know. We can watch the video again.
Yeah, the one you objected to, Chris.
Several times during your testimony with the prosecution, you stated that, yes, I'm trespassing on the property. Do you have the Maricopa County Assessor's
interloony
map of the property to be able to determine if I was standing on the actual property that's owned by the hotel or if I was still on an easement as defined by the assessor's map?
Do I personally have a map? Is that
Did you? Yeah. Well,
So that comment properly read is, Beaver, as a proud American, I'm offended by today's show, and I want my super chats back, but not in Canadian dollars. Damn it, I sent another one with a bunch of laughing emoji faces. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, you guys know I love you. Besides, I've seen my analytics. I can't afford to not love you. And all jokes aside. You're like 90% of my audience because you're 90% of YouTube. Like, well, in English terms, you make up, like, I think even by population, you make up like half the people speaking English that are on the entire platform. So, I mean, just statistically speaking, because, not everybody in Europe speaks English, right? So Europe, I always consider Europe too, but Europe is a lot of languages. So, you only get, like a fraction of America's population in Europe, right? So it's, so yeah, just a little bit of fact stuff for you out of my analytics there, guys. Any creator that is not American but speaks English is probably thankful for America. Let's just put it that way, because,
I was standing on
that's where the views are.
Property. So I'm asking if you have evidence to show that is actually the property. Well, we're talking about demarcation lines, which is irrelevant if there's a assessor's website with a line on it. So I'm just asking if you have knowledge that I actually was on their property, or are you just assuming it?
That's rough. Can I just help you?
Sure.
He always does this. He pulls out a fucking like lineage map and like latitude and longitude, and Like, shut up. I
understand your question.
He's such a clown.
No, you're doing fine. I understand what you're trying to ask. So, officer, the area that we observed on the video where Mr. Ruff goes onto the property in the video, and you've seen it, we just watched it. Do you know if that is actually, if you have personal knowledge, do you know if that's actually property of the hotel, or is that considered public property?
I do not have personal knowledge.
Was that what you wanted to ask, Mr. Ruff?
That was.
See, the judge is literally helping him right now. Listen, I want you to rehear that. The judge popped in, because this happens a few times. The judge holds his hand because he's a pro se litigant.
Goes onto the property in the video, and you've seen it, we just watched it. Do you know if that is actually, if you have personal knowledge?
He basically cleans up Christopher's question so it can be answered more succinctly.
Do you know if that's actually property of the hotel?
That's why Brazilian YouTubers suck. Sorry, why? Because they don't... Wait, which aspect of the conversation do you mean by that, NNA? Give me a slight bit more context. I mean, Rotten Apple News, I don't know personally what's happened to you in your life, but I do know that trying to pretend that you don't live in the same world as everybody else, like, just doesn't work. We've never seen it work. All these people that claim it, like David Straight literally just got his ass arrested. His wife just got arrested. Like, they always all end up having a harder time. And I honestly, you seem like a nice guy, and I mean that sincerely. And I do not, I would prefer, because most don't speak English. I would prefer Rotten Apple News if you didn't have that time in life. And so while I do understand that sometimes the system can be a bit of an AF, and that's an ASSFUC. Anyways, you get it. A butt effer. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. I get it. I get that it can be like that sometimes, and I hate it sometimes too. I really do. I sometimes lament at the state of certain aspects of like I have a ticket and I just wanted to plead my case and try to get the ticket reduced because tickets in Canada are absolutely outrageously high. So, I've got like a plus 17 driver rating. I was like, well, maybe I'll just say, hey, listen, this ticket's ridiculous and I'd like to pay my rent still, or for my rent and my utilities and shit. So it'd be nice to bring it down. And I called the court and left a message because I needed a callback with a bit of information, which their answering machine said to do. Now, do you think they called me back? Of course they didn't fucking call me back. So I had to drive my ass down there. I had to walk in there and I had to say, hey guys, I left a message and you didn't call me back. So now I'm here and I'm going to be, a bit of a pain in the ass for you because I'm here in person. Could have done this over the phone, but now I'm here. So we got to do this. And I got it done. And, I was polite, but I felt, I was a little bit of a bitch at times because I was a bit annoyed. But I just kind of ate it, swallowed my pride for the most part, protested a little bit where I wanted to, and I got it done. And I have an appointment to be called in May, whatever, and kiss a justice's ass and tell him how great he is and how I love the system, and hopefully he'll cut my ticket in half and give me a half fine or something. But, do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. I'm doing it because it's just like, whatever. Every once in a while, you just got to bend your ass over and you got to tell the government, right there, line it up, buddy. That's all there is to it. I mean, all of us do it. Every single person in my chat, at some point in the last year, they've gotten a fine. They've been presented with a fee they disagree with. I applied to a goddamn boiler program. I sent the stuff in. Shit went shitty over pandemic. I couldn't get the materials for a year. I ended up abandoning the hope of doing that program because I wasn't on that contract with the other company anymore. And then later I canceled my application to the boiler program. They sent me a bill for $500 fucking dollars because, I guess because they phoned me once or twice, that cost them $500, and I called them and I bitched about it and I haven't heard much since, and they might have wiped it away. But I mean, I'm fully expecting in 6 months' time for a goddamn bill to show up and they'll say, no, and plus now you owe us interest and suck our butts. Like, basically, and I will be pissed off and I will just pay it and I will grind my teeth at night about it because I'm annoyed. But I'll do it. Did I send them my fee schedule? Exactly. Like, oh God, wouldn't that be nice? Oh, hey, listen, Veronica, I'm working on a video that's going to be out tomorrow that involves fee schedules. Hey, Rotten Apple News, you're welcome to watch. You may or may not enjoy it. I mean, you might enjoy it. I mean, it's you're kind, but at the same time, I make fun of them. So.
Do not have personal knowledge.
Was that what you wanted to ask, Mr. Ruff?
That was. And I think my other question would be, in the beginning you said that
Riotous.
reluctantly everybody went back onto the property, or went onto the sidewalk and got off of the property. Did you personally observe me at the time, not counting this video, go back onto the property, knowingly, intentionally back onto the property? Did you observe?
Yeah, but Denmark, your tickets, I mean, this ticket is, I know that's one of the countries there has some pretty wild tickets. What they do here is they set up a fucking construction zone sign. It's very malicious, and I hate it. And I do think the judges don't like it either, because they're humans. And they see what the they see what the city is doing, and they're not the city, they're judges, and so they often will side with you. And what I'm doing, by the way, is I'm not pleading innocent. I'm pleading guilty with an explanation. It's a whole extra thing I can do there. And basically, I mean, I just plead my case. I say, hey, listen, and it's the truth. I say, hey, listen, it's an 80-kilometer-an-hour zone. It's been an 80-kilometers-an-hour zone for years. There's no construction there. There's still no construction there. When I got a ticket, there was no construction there. However, they put a construction sign down because I guess they plan to do construction at some point. And so they put a construction sign down. They put a thing over top of the 80. They put a little triangle board up that says 60 with no other signs of construction. So you pass a 60 sign at the entrance, and that's it. So if you're busy playing wheels on the bus with your kids, there's no other visible signs that there's a construction zone. And then what they did is they changed the provincial laws to allow them to do double fines, even when workers aren't present. So they don't need a fucking pylon. They don't need a worker. They don't need anything. They just need to put a sign right at the start that says construction zone, and then mark the speed down. Boom. I got hit at 82. 82. What would normally be 2 kilometers over the normally posted speed limit, not the 60 that they reduced it to, and then double fined. So I got a $650 fucking ticket that literally made my asshole shake a little bit. So, you know, that's why, like, Rotten Apples, like, when we say we know what you're talking about, like, we all know what you're talking about. We all live in the same system that did that to you. We just deal with it because that's just the way it is. Like, it's, you know, I wish. Bye, bootlicker. Hey, yeah, you will see me over at Donut Operator's channel.
At the end, yeah, when you're standing up.
Oh, that was too much hardcore seriousness for you, huh?
Are you talking to me?
I mean,
Yelling at me, insulting me, yes.
I mean, if you think that bothers me, by the way, I will tell you one thing. They use a awesome, it's like the seasonal, by the way. So in the fall, it's a pumpkin spice. But in the spring, they use a really, 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 really nice sweet apple. It's like a green apple boot polish, actually. It's really nice, honestly. It's got that sharp flavor, like Granny Smith. It's very Granny Smith. Oh, you should try it. I'm telling you, buddy.
Sergeant Deuce, did you take a
Hey,
loyalty
Shiz.
oath with the city of Mason?
Yes.
Okay, and in that loyalty oath, were you asked to uphold the Arizona Constitution and the Constitution of the United States of America?
Yes.
My bootlicking view. Well, we're all bootlickers over here. It's delicious. I'm telling you, you should try it. They got new flavors. I really, like, ever since I've started doing you guys, I've really, really thought that it'd be great to team up with, like, a candy company and do, like basically, like, these. The idea would be, like, little polishes. Like, little things of polish, like boot polishes. And, like, you could get, like, a little applicator and stuff like that. It'd be very similar to, like, you know those fizzy, like, you get the, what the fuck are they called? Dipsticks? You get the, like, little candy stick and you get the little thing of powder and you dip it in. It'd be very similar to that, except it'd be like a boot polish thing. So, for instance, like, every one of them could come with, like, a tiny little candy boot that you get to polish. It'd be brute-shaped lollipops. There you go. But no. But we got to make it more fun. Like I want to be able to like pick the boot polish for the day, for instance. It would be a little bit more entertaining, I think.
The Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of Arizona, we have the freedom of speech.
Fun dip there.
So you testified that my language was aggressive, fighting. Did I ever?
I deep throat the boot, no gag reflex.
No.
Shiz, why do I get the suspicion, and shit, like, the lady, don't beat me up for this, ladies. I talk to Shiz in the background, it's fun. I get the impression that Shiz is on, and not because the stories are true, I get the impression that Shiz is on our, like, Reddit, like, what is it? I was just there. It's like Reddit, I'm such a whore. It's like a bunch of, like, it's probably mostly men writing, like, you know, fan fiction for other men, essentially, but they pretend they're real. And I don't think that Shiz is on there because she is one. I think she's on there because she's one of the people that just likes to screw with all the men on there. Shiz is like that. Shiz, I could see you doing that, Shiz. And by the way, the only reason that came into my head is because I have ADHD, and I literally was watching Philip DeFranco, and I discovered apparently there's been an AI that somebody unleashed on that forum, and it's been basically making, like, you know, softcore porn, you know, posting about its experiences, its escapades, but it's been fake the entire time. So all these dudes have likely been slinging yogurt to some AI fan fiction, basically.
Say anything that would make you feel like you would need to respond.
I have lots of Adderall in my system. I take like, I think it's like 56 milligrams or something a day. It's a pretty decent pill. It's like a little bird egg.
To my verbal whatever in that moment, did I say anything that would make you feel like you would need to respond physically to me?
It's Concerta, thank you very much, by the way.
Any of your insults, but I felt like you were putting me personally and others there at the scene in danger by standing next to me, using that kind of language just a few feet from me, insulting me, and using the kind of language that you would use.
It's like Adderall. I thought I was supposed to be doing cocaine. I've been switching these up wrong. You know, like, just holy shit! Look at him go.
That you're trying to provoke.
Okay, can you elaborate on how you're insinuating that I'm trying to provoke?
Any reasonable person, upon seeing that video, could infer that that's very insulting, provocative language. There aren't many other words in the English language that are more insulting and provocative than the words that were used on us that night.
I mean, I don't know. You haven't spent a lot of time on the internet then, bro. That's all. I mean, I will give Chris that. You know, for that, that's like right up there with when that lawyer told Chili that nobody's ever had a case like his, like with copyright. Like, okay, bro. Like this cop needs to spend a bit of time on the net. That's all I can say. Harden him up a little.
But they weren't fighting words, right?
I would consider the words.
God's cabbage guides me.
So I said something.
That's my opinion.
Okay, so I said something along the lines that would make you think that I was going to assault physically or molest physically, something that made you feel.
Oh, you just reminded me my vape is empty.
Piece of shit,
I'm sad now.
Those kinds of things. You felt like I was going to do something violent towards you with that?
You asked a lot of questions there.
I understand. I know we have a prosecutor in the courtroom too, so I was waiting for an objection that goes to the court. Judge, say we object to the form of the question. Sustained. Mr. Ruff, try not to ask compound questions. Go ahead, Mr. Ruff.
I'm just trying to get to the crux of how you feel I was disorderly and I was threatening you when you took an oath to uphold the Constitution of Arizona and the Constitution of the United States. There's Supreme Court case law. I've got two cases.
Ruff, What? What in the world? But sorry, I'm sucking on a piece of chocolate. I didn't expect to interject so soon. Is he in the same courtroom as we're listening to? Like,
and I know the prosecutor's not objecting, but this is very compound. You're also editorializing.
I'm trying to get to the crux of my question.
I know you are, but Mr. Ruff, I'm aware of the Constitution. I'm aware of the rules. I'm aware that officers take an oath. So if you want to just ask your question, because it becomes compound and you're editorializing before you ask the question. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
I have some questions.
No, he's eating pot brownie. That should get good. I wish it was a pot brownie. That was just a delicious brownie. Pot brownies are not delicious. I mean, they can be. Some people, apparently there's a certain, where did I learn this? It's like you put in a certain like herb or something like that, and it counteracts the taste. Like it does like a cancellation thing. Somebody showed me, like, let me taste test one. And I was like, holy shit, you couldn't even tell that was pot brownie. Because I mean, anybody who's eating a lot of pot brownies, I mean, usually you're choking it down a little bit. Yeah, they're a little funky.
From the time that he speaks to you or shouts these things to you, from the time that you leave, in the video you're walking to your patrol vehicle, would you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
From the time that he starts yelling at you out of that until you reach your vehicle, how much time do you believe elapsed?
Oh, wow. A minute.
Okay. And was it only during this time that Mr. Ruff drank?
Yeah, Adderall, and I think all of the drugs for that can do that. See, the thing I learned recently, actually, misty-eyed girl, is that with ADHD, you actually, it's like there's like a 70-something% genetic correlation between ADHD and people with depression. And then it's like, but people with depression only have like a 7% correlation with people with ADHD genetically. So, or like their predisposition based on studies. So they basically said that if they said everything all fleshed out. They said if you have a child with ADHD, they've actually got like a 50% higher likelihood of committing suicide than their peers when it all hammers out. I was like, fuck, that sucks. So I didn't know that. I don't think I'm stricken with the any sort of I'm generally a happy person, I think. Anyways, I don't know.
Those statements towards you.
Depression, that's the word. It was gone, see? ADHD.
While he's standing right there on the property.
And I guess that's what I meant from the time that he starts to do it. You're standing here next to the property in this still video.
the 911 after they pop rat. I think I did hear that a long time ago.
Approaches you and says things to you.
It's the first time he approaches me on the property. He insulted me and specifically named me, even at the very beginning of the video.
Oh yeah, it's good advice, Phoenix. Thanks.
Called my name out and began insulting me as soon as they showed up, as soon as he saw me. And then at this, where you see here, Your Honor, so I guess from this point to where they're standing there insulting and yelling at us while the vehicles are backing out and leaving and we're trying to leave the scene, they're continuing to cause a disturbance. From that time to the time I got to my vehicle, probably 2 or 3 minutes. I'd estimate. That's an approximation.
But I know that you testified that your piece was sincere. While you were walking, and I see Mr. Ruff in the video following.
Well, misty-eyed girl, I'm glad if he got off them, and hopefully he's not having those same kind of feelings anymore. I don't have any of those inclinations, that's for sure. Didn't seem to change much. I could probably use more Concerta even, but I probably also need to get more sleep. So, all the things I was told to do, I'm not doing. So,
Do you ever turn around?
Yes.
Is there a reason why you turned around?
Well, I didn't want to turn my back, Your Honor, to a group of individuals like that the entire time. That's just not smart.
I think he's getting text messages or something. This is all off his audio, remember?
To see exactly what they were doing besides yelling and insulting me, just to make sure that there wasn't anything further than that they were attempting to do to me.
Obviously, as an officer, you always have that concern for officer safety, and you're trained in that matter, to be aware of your circumstances. Would you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, Keith, I have a similar story. The first time I ever made pot cookies, I fucked it up. I did not realize that because of I'm going to fuck this word up right now, but the carboxylation or oh, fuck. Now I feel like an idiot. Carboxylation? You got to decarboxynate it, or I hate that fucking word so much. But anyways, so that's where the heat comes in, or mixing it with fat soluble things like when you cook it, right? So I didn't know that, and I did read online that you could do it with like Basil or like margarine. So I made cookies with margarine, and it didn't really land. And then I was talking to my brother, he's older than me, and he said something, I can't remember what I said, but he's like, oh, no, he's like, you have to use butter because, of course, it's fat soluble. If you don't use butter, it won't work properly. So I did the exact same recipe again, but with butter instead of margarine. And last time it did nothing, really, for the most part, right? So I just started by, I'll eat 2 cookies. And then, like, my wife is like, how are you feeling? I'm like, I might be high. And I'm going to go get a drink, kind of thing. So I, like, left to go upstairs to go get a drink. And then, like, a minute later, she comes to get a drink, and she can hear me giggling at the end of the hall. And when she gets there, she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, and I was like leaned up against the side of the stairwell, sliding up the stairwell as I pushed up, and I'm like, I can't walk straight right now. I couldn't. I had tipped over in the stairwell, and I was giggling because I couldn't stand up straight. I was rubbing up the wall as I walked up the stairs because I needed the railing and shit. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'm high. Anyway, so it just goes to show you, if you don't cook them right or bake them right, they don't work well. But if you do it right, your day will be good.
Situation, did you ever...
That flasher at the bottom with Brady Beaver Games and shit is supposed to have not been flashing.
Did you ever have to do anything, aside from making an observation with these
It's
individuals?
Beaver Zero Gaming
Did you ever
or
have to do
Games,
anything
something
more
like that.
In terms of a physical movement, whether that to approach them, to perhaps pull out a taser if you had one. Did you ever feel that you needed to do that?
Well, Your Honor, I can tell you, I was feeling very, very uneasy the entire time.
That one guy was lucky he didn't get tased.
Back to a group of individuals that, their own words.
That was on a lean.
Really hate the police, and words that would be used to insult and provoke a person into some sort of incident. However, again, I behaved in a
Coconut oil, that would work. Yeah, okay. And lectin, okay.
Try and get to me to where I would physically do something to
It's
them.
baking with Beaver Hour, everybody. You heard it here. Make your notes. Phoenix Dragoon is not, I repeat, not telling everybody the secret to wicked pot brownies in the chat. Hey, YouTube, I said not. I didn't tell y'all I got a TOS strike the other day. Well, I got a TOS warning strike, but it's a strike. Apparently, even though you can have blurred nudity, you can't have blurred nudity. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why something can be listed as monetizable and also be TOS strikeable. But, you know, there's that.
As you know, Your Honor, people with video cameras and people who are trying to follow you and record you, I understand the rights of everyone involved, and I was trying very, very careful to not violate any other people's rights at the same time.
Decarboxylate, thank you.
Again, you have to take into account the use of force, you know, the use of force policies that we have.
I do it in the Instant Pot. That's awesome.
All of those types of things to consider. So, can I pull out my taser and point at them and threaten them?
Makes you, it's like a double entendre, right? It's like it's like, I'm just cooking it in the Instapot. Yeah, I know. It's
you know,
basic, but I'm laughing.
But I chose just to remain professional and attempt to the situation. But they did not want to let the situation go as seen because they continued to follow and harass me and yell at me.
Okay, let me just ask you this question.
Lectins are very bad for you. You should avoid them. Oh, and buy his supplements.
And I know you testified that you felt that these were fighting words. Did Mr. Ruff in any way verbally indicate...
You know what, Killer Kev? I did question the YouTube mods. I did. I actually started a support chat that led me nowhere. And then when I wasn't happy with that, I started another support chat with a person who isn't a complete robot this time, apparently. And they gave me a slightly more human answer that at least made it very clear that I wasn't getting another answer. Like, because, and I quote or paraphrase and quote, because you know what I mean. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but we don't have access to the tools that they use, and as such, have no way of affecting or knowing why they made the decisions they made. I'm sorry, but there is literally nothing we can do about that. Like, they can't even tell me why I actually got a TOS strike, because they just link you the policy on sex and nudity. And I go, yeah, the policy I've read, and I was fine. So that's YouTube for you, whatever. You wouldn't want to let us know too much. We might be able to game the system, I guess.
Did he specifically say he was going to harm me? No.
Nerdvana?
It was de-empathetic.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Calling you a piece of shit. Using the F word, correct?
Yeah.
Hey, wait till he cusses at the judge here. Or like,
Any follow-up, Mr. Hawkins?
you'll see.
Sure, thank you, Judge. Sergeant, just presumably there's multiple different ways to diffuse a situation, correct?
Yes.
There was no Beaver on YouTube. Listen, Taipan, the thing that was crazy to me is I spent 45 minutes blurring her. So there was frame by frame, there was 0 Beaver on YouTube. And if I want to be, and this is just, I mean this with all politeness, she was a big girl. And all jokes aside, there was no Beaver anyways, even if I didn't blur it because her stomach was in the way. So like I'm just, and I mean that with respect. Nobody cares if people are bigger. I'm bigger. I'm a bit big right now. But no, I mean, fuck, she could have been full frontal with a bikini top on, and there would have been no Beavers. So like, it's just, it was the weirdest. And then to add real insult to injury, Law Talk with Mike then proceeded to play the same video on his live stream, and you know, obviously that was probably okay. So I guess, you know, with blurred out too, but I don't know why that's different, but. I don't actually care if I sound bitter. I just think that YouTube is like, if you wonder why sometimes streamers are stressed out, it's because it's kind of like being in a bad relationship with YouTube. Like they don't really give you a lot of information, but she's always got a bag packed and she's ready to go stay with her mom and stuff like that. Like, it's really shitty. That's how it feels when you're dating YouTube or married to YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, you better not fuck up or she's gonna fucking, like, you know what, I'm staying with my mom, you son of a bitch. She's out the door. You're like, oh my God, what'd I do? I'm sorry. I'll spend 48 minutes blurring her next time. I swear to God.
Would you say that sometimes?
Well, yeah, next time, big black bars. 100%. And you know what? Just next time they can fuck themselves. They don't need the extra views. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just won't bother. But, you know, that's why if you see, like, when you watch a video, if a guy pulls out a gun, that gun's getting blurred. YouTube has made it very obvious in their live streams that they, like in their live stream rules, that they do not want guns on screen to the point where you could be banned for having a gun on screen in a live stream. And now they have not made that the rule in streams or in videos, but you can guarantee that shows you how they feel about guns on screen. So, you know, in general, you'll see me, and I know Team's been doing it, probably generally be blurring in a lot of cases if there's a gun being brandished on, especially if it's being brandished. I don't think he did it in the waistband recently, but if it's brandished, then it's getting blurred.
Necessary.
What about finger guns? No, those are okay.
To use a show of force.
They're welcome if you're on OnlyFans, by the way, Veronica.
In order to calm a situation and diffuse it. It can be necessary.
That's a different...
And are there times where...
It's a different conversation, though.
Is the best way to diffuse a situation?
There are many times de-escalation is one of those. One in de-escalation, that's a tactic that we use to try and diffuse a situation by either walking away or separating ourselves or creating distance between us and the situation.
Does the fact that you chose to walk away while being careful in any way lessen the concern that you felt on that night as you were being surrounded and yelled at?
No.
I'm happy for the judge.
Mr. Ruff, you have an opportunity for any questions, for some follow-up questions. No. What else? You can sit there.
Thank you, Honor.
Let me just tell you what obviously cropped into my head, and I know that you can probably anticipate this.
Okay, so this is where the judge actually does Christopher's job for him. Okay, so Mr. Christopher Ruff, the pro se litigant, he wants to do his own lawyering, claims he's invalid. Okay, bro. I know damn well that a guy with 180,000 subs is making bank off that channel. You're lying if you say you're not, but that's fine. That's fine. You're gonna make your wife the owner of the channel and say it's not yours. Well, okay, that's fine. But if he's gonna act as his own lawyer because he's super smart, but he's not listen to the judge does this on his behalf. Basically acts as Christopher's lawyer and questions the prosecution for Christopher right here, okay? It's beautiful.
I think a Rule 20 motion can be brought upon by the court itself, but help me with the disorderly conduct charge. I haven't read the case law on it recently, and I didn't realize before we started today that it was going to be a police officer that is your victim. So doesn't case law talk about, I mean, clearly I believe that Mr. Ruff's statements were on a line. Clearly I believe that if he was speaking to somebody who was not a uniformed police officer, that I could easily make that finding of disturbing the peace. When it comes to a police officer, is there a different standard though, Mr. Hawkins? Is there not?
There is, Judge. Yeah.
So,
and frankly, that is the question for the court. Is we know that an individual's conduct can rise to the level of disorderly conduct, even when the victim is the police officer. We also know that legally, a police officer is obligated to put up with more than an average person, and that is the question for the court: is does this cross that threshold? The state's perspective is that yes, it does. And I don't know if you want me to treat this as a Rule 20 and make an argument, or we're talking through it, Judge. But
yeah, well, I'm actually raising it because I think it's proper for the court to raise it, especially since Mr. Ruff is representing himself. But I mean, that's my question legally.
I mean, he said it's proper for the court to raise it, especially if Mr. Ruff is representing himself. So that's fair. That's a bit of I mischaracterized the situation a little bit. However, this is still the judge, making arguments that perhaps, the counsel that Mr. Ruff does not have could have made on his behalf.
At this point,
right. And Judge,
how's everybody doing out there? Andrew, I saw you pop in a while ago, by the way, and Dave Malik, good to see you.
The case law, I believe, goes to the kind of the length and the intensity of the interaction. Again, obviously, an officer is going to get yelled at a lot. He's going to get cussed at. He's going to get sworn at. He's going to get called the F word and a lot of other words.
I think that goes to my question, right? And I think you probably gathered that when I was asking the officer how long from the point that Mr. Ruff approached him that we could see on the video until he gets to his vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said, and I may be incorrect, but I thought he said 60 seconds. I may be wrong. And I can actually look at the video myself, but I know you were starting it and stopping it and playing various portions. So, and I also know that the officer testified that he was yelling at him earlier. And I don't know what distance that was. Again, there were portions or clips of the video played, but that's my concern. And I don't know if there's some threshold that and again, I haven't looked at case law in a long time.
And the case law is fairly vague, Judge. I mean, there's references to conceivably a verbal harangue may be so staged and be of such length and disconcerting in its character as to rise to the level of a crime. So it
Ignore me.
About it in
Sorry,
the general terms that we're talking
Casey Cooper. I didn't see your comment. Where was it? What comment did I miss? Where did I miss? Oh, I just didn't say hi to you. Hi, Casey. I see you. Hey, especially if you at me, I get that big orange. You should see it. It's really brilliant orange. It's quite bright. And I have you on. You're all alone, everybody. You guys all are on a monitor, so I can read every comment. I'm watching.
And that is
Just like I was watching when I got rid of Manuel crazy or whatever. You guys know who I'm talking about if you're in the Discord. That he's an African gentleman that is a bit of a bigot, if you will.
Is the issue for the court to decide.
He fucking posted a word that starts with F and is similar, like used to mean cigarettes, or in some places maybe still does if somebody's old fashioned, and in a derogatory way. And I'm pretty sure I'd smoked him within 30 seconds of him doing it because I get notifications from my Discord.
Again, the state's position is that this does cross that threshold for a number of reasons. Not just Mr. Ruff's individual conduct, but the fact that he appeared to wait until the other officers.
Well, that son of a bitch. I mean, Lord, by the way, he's always trying to start shit, and so I was just waiting for him to fuck up. He'll get banned from the Discord. He'll make new accounts. He'll come back in. He'll be generally a pain in the ass, and I'll just keep banning him until eventually he gets bored. And then a few months later, he'll come back again. He'll be quiet. He'll be a good boy for a while, and then eventually he'll start posting articles and being a bigot again, and then being, he just tries to start arguments with people based around his beliefs. He's just an actual troll. He doesn't care. I don't think he actually gives a shit about what he's talking about. I think he just wants to get a rise.
Left. He appeared to wait until Sergeant Deuce was by himself. That when those other officers left, he went back onto the property. He clearly knew he wasn't supposed to be on that property. He didn't trespass on that property.
Marbeast is a big fan of that word.
And then he went on, along with
it's a pretty bad word,
and surrounded this officer at which time he got very close to Sergeant Deuce. So his proximity to Sergeant Deuce factors in. If he's 30 yards away and he's screaming all these things, it's much different than when he's 2 feet away, right in Sergeant Deuce's face, with a bright light, surrounded by other individuals, and then following him all the way to his vehicle. And Judge, I guess the state's perspective is, frankly, the individuals who are recording police officers, the recording is not the issue. It never has been. It's all of the other behavior. Frankly, they are looking for that line. If this isn't it, the next case will be further than this. Okay? And I know that's not what should decide this case, but that's what brought this about. It's slow.
Yeah, Lord, it's probing time. Yeah, they're not banning, guns are not banned. Like, I even have a gun, if you watch 2 episodes back, I have my gun has a 1 second, 1.5 second cameo in that episode, because it's a video and it's allowed to, especially as long as it's not being used in a threatening manner or anything, you know, you're not brandishing it, or, you know, it's not a violent act, or, you know, it fits a bunch of criteria, and as long as it does, it's fine. But on live stream, they have a completely different set of rules now, that literally say, like, the way they've worded it is like absolutely no, like, man, I'll grab it in a second here, we can read it again. It's crazy. Like, they shifted it completely to be like, nope.
Fully escalated to this point, and it will continue to escalate if the defendant walks out of this courtroom with this court's endorsement of this behavior is perfectly legal.
Oh, Mr. Hawkins, I'm not.
Because you're telling him this is legal behavior.
Mr. Hawkins, that's not. I'm just asked that you refrain from that. I'm not. I understand what you're telling us. I'm not here to send a message. At this point, I'm here to decide.
And I'm not saying the court's here to send a message, Judge. I'm saying that should help the court in deciding what the threshold is. Because if this isn't enough, then what is? I mean, where does it have to go from here?
And I guess I was trying to, because I know that you're handling this case, and I know that you probably
See, it's this that they added right here. They added this right here. So it says content intended. They changed this, and they did it just recently, like just in the last few months. Content intended to sell firearms, instruct viewers on how to make firearms, ammunition, certain accessories, or instruct viewers on how to install those accessories is not allowed on YouTube. YouTube shouldn't be used as a platform to sell firearms, blah, blah, blah. Fair enough. Right here. YouTube also doesn't allow live streams that show someone holding, handling, or transporting a firearm. That is, I mean, if they meant it to be a tighter description than that, they fucked up. Because it literally says that shows someone live streams, someone holding, handling, or transporting a firearm. Meaning you basically cannot have a firearm displayed on screen during a live stream, technically. Now, whether or not they back that up and follow it, this was one of the changes they made. That little blurb right there was added. And that's why you'll see a lot more blurring of firearms right away. That's what's started happening.
Mr. Hawkins looked at.
Hi, Ida Pimp, you to ho.
Like you perhaps may have looked at some of this case law, and again, regarding the disturbing of the peace of an officer. You know, we're talking about evidence, and so that's why I sort of turned to you.
That's what I got out of it, Liadus, too, is that when he said, well, I'm not trying, I'm not going to be trying to send a message, like he took it, the judge took a bit of like offense to that, like, almost like he was being told what his position was. But I agree with Liadus where he says, I would have said, Your Honor, you are a judge. You always are sending a message. I mean, that's exactly how I felt about it when he said, we've got to send a message. I don't think he meant like in the sense of like, I mean, I get why the judge rebutted that comment, especially with Christopher Ruff. He knows everything that's said in there is going to be taken out of context by Christopher. And so by jumping in, and it's like the one time when I was in like a fender bender and I had braked and the woman ran into the back of me and he's like, yeah, I saw you brake checker there. And I was like, yeah, that's not what I was trying to do. Because that one sentence right there, if you were like, yeah, I know, right? You're fucking guilty of the accident now, because apparently you brake checked her.
I haven't read case law in a while, and I can tell you both that if I don't hear more or see more, it's just something I still want to go and look at, because I have to make that determination. you heard me say that obviously if this was an individual who wasn't a police officer, it'd be real easy. I think the evidence is overwhelming as to that aspect. But when it comes to this being a police officer, I don't know. I mean, I saw snippets, understanding I saw snippets, and so I want to watch more of the video to see how long it progressed, how often he was directing it towards the officer. If it's just the 60-second portion, then I'll have to look at it more closely. But that's an issue for me, and I understand that, and I appreciate your comments. So
it's just, the only thing I would add, I guess, is as far as and I don't know if this is officially a Rule 20 or what is it?
It is, and I've raised it.
The officer also testified.
I'll blame Kick.
And I believe it's on the video as well, that he was immediately identified by the defendant, okay, from the very get-go of this entire interaction, and that he was addressed by the defendant and insulted by the defendant throughout the entirety of their time together. Now, again, it was at a distance because there were other officers there, they had established a line, they put up crime scene tape, but that doesn't mean that the court should ignore that. Okay? It simply means, and it should go to the rising concern of Sergeant Deuce when that tape came down and the other officers left, that the defendant then closed distance. But he immediately recognized Sergeant Deuce from the very beginning. He was addressing Sergeant Deuce throughout the interaction. So when we talk about the intensity and the length of the interaction, it includes this entire time period that this was going on, which was, I believe the officer guessed, 30 or 45 minutes. But
and so, Mr. Hawkins, I'm not going to grant a Rule 20 at this point. I'm raising the issue at Rule 20 because I'm just wanting to let you know what my issue is. I believe in the light most favorable to the state. I wouldn't grant a Rule 20 at this point, but I am raising it because I do have some concerns about it. The other thing, just so you know, I'm taking into account the fact that there were multiple individuals as well. So I just wanted to.
Yeah, it's like Phil said. Judge is worried he'll be overturned. He can't leave any room for a mistrial because I mean, if all of a sudden they say C, they could say C. He was prejudiced. There was prejudice, or I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. Obviously, Mike or somebody like along those lines would probably be the best person to know the answer to that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, let's face it. They can't seem like there's any sort of extra like pressure being put on the judge or anything like that. Any sort of anything like that gives him an ability to try to claim that there was, that there was some sort of malicious, attempt at like his, his freedoms or fuck. I'm trying to think of what he would call it, but it's not coming to me.
Wanted to reach out to you to hear your feedback on that issue.
Yeah, no, I understand. And these are novel issues. We briefed something on a previous case, and
court is so boring. I'm sorry. I'm gonna speed him up a little bit, but it's kind of like he gets found guilty, so it's kind of important to hear how we got there though, because Chris is gonna go on the stand soon, and the language gets more colorful.
Like that as well. So they're not easy questions. They are
like right now you have the good boys and girls on the stand.
On the 10th F word, you've crossed the threshold. Obviously, it's a hard question.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Ruff, I wanted to raise that issue with the prosecution because obviously it's something that I need to look into.
I can slow it down a little bit
in
there.
my favor. There's Houston versus Hill and Cohen v. California, which literally says that to verbally challenge and oppose the police is a fundamental freedom that distinguishes America from a free state or a free country to a police state.
Okay. So what's that? What, do you have a citation?
Yeah. Cohen v. California is 403 U.S. 403 U.S. 15, 1971.
All right.
Oh shit!
What's that in that case you said?
That's Cohen v. California.
All right.
And then we have City of Houston versus Hill. That's 482 U.S. 451, 1987. These are upheld and still in good stand.
All right. I'll have to review those, Mr. Ruff, as well as some other.
I brought copies if you want a copy.
That's okay. I can actually pull it up.
I'd love a copy if I could have them.
With Westlaw.
No, this is just off.
Okay, so Mr. Ruff, notwithstanding the fact that you have case law, I am familiar with the case law. I've read it. It's been a long time. I do believe, again, I would not grant a Rule 20 at this point. The state has rested. Knowing that they have rested, do you have anything that you want to present to the court in terms of evidence or testimony?
Just my own testimony.
All right. Did you want to testify, Mr. Ruff?
Yeah.
Mr. Ruffin, since you are going to be cross-examined, I am going to have you come to the stand for me. Okay. You could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear from the testimony that you are about to provide in this court will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Earmuff warning.
All right, go ahead and grab a seat.
Just in general, though,
Mr.
not
Ruff,
all
go ahead.
central.
So on the night in question, we were out with some out-of-town friends, exercising our First Amendment rights as journalists and members of the free press, documenting police encounters throughout the state of Arizona, specifically the city of Mesa, when we noticed...
Yeah, I guess you're right. He does have a little bit of a Norm Macdonald kind of sound to him. You're right. That's actually a good point.
I think we either heard a radio call or we saw the lights. Either way, we saw what we thought was a traffic stop happening at the hotel in question.
All right, Mr. Ruff, I'm just going to stop so I can ask you a question. When you say you heard a radio call, how would it be that you'd hear a radio call?
That's a radio scanner app on a cell phone.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we park somewhere legal, get out, walk up to the scene.
Is he like? I was wondering if the judge was hoping he's like, on my police band radio, like something illegal. Like I imagine you're not allowed to have certain types of radios or something. I don't know.
Initially, when we showed up, I didn't say anything. I can't speak for
Is
others.
he recording this illegally? Yes, probably. Because he's probably not allowed to have a recording device inside the courtroom. Now, I have never known how I felt about that. I can't... like, I don't understand why there would be a problem with him being able to have his own audio copy from his own device of the court proceedings. I don't... To me, as somebody who does respect that freedoms do need to be maintained, I actually don't personally see why that would ever be an issue. Because if everything that happens in court is supposed to be... Yeah, like in Canada, they use encrypted radios. And also there's a law here that says you're not allowed to transfer... I can't remember how it's written, but basically what it says is you're not allowed to take... well, first of all, you're not allowed to own a device that unencrypts encrypted radio signals from, like, especially from, like, police and, like, ambulance and military and stuff like that. So if you're found in possession of one that decrypts it, you can be charged, and you're not allowed to transmit encrypted signals that were encrypted that have been decrypted over the internet. So if you had a YouTube channel and you were playing scanner stuff from Canada on it, you might find out that you're getting arrested eventually. But at this, I don't believe that personally. If the courtroom, I do believe that if a courtroom is willing to, you know, charge somebody in a courtroom and like they're willing to have this procedure, then they should. There really should be no reason why it can't be played. The only reason I can imagine that they might not like it is for doctoring reasons. Like what stops? Because like for instance, Chris even said at the beginning that he cut out all the little stupid things, like, you know, all of the content that is, you know, like nobody talking and all that stuff. Sure. But how do I know that you didn't cut something else out that makes it seem more favorable or less favorable in their way or your way kind of thing? Like that's the only problem I could see. But then again, I mean, what's to stop anybody from taking any court audio and taking it out of context at that point? I mean, if there was an official court audio, you could do the same thing. So I personally don't understand why a radio, like an audio recording wouldn't be allowed, but that's just me.
But I stayed quiet and didn't say anything.
He cut out the part that said he can't record? I mean, I assume.
Other individuals went onto the property immediately to get different camera angles. The officers testify and say that we're surrounding them, trying to harass them, but...
That's the only other thing I'm wondering if I got tagged on the TOS, because, like, it's a court proceeding, so, like, the woman's name's right on the screen. Maybe I should have blurred her name out, because maybe, like, the YouTube TOS team was like, it's not, like, it's not sex and nudity, but we'll just smoke it on sex and nudity, because, like... it's a violation of privacy or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows if they tagged it? Because that's the only other thing I was wondering, too. But it's also a name that was displayed in a public forum on a public website to the public already. So I was like, I don't see why that's actually a problem when the woman was on Zoom court on YouTube. And they post, I mean, the judges, they're the ones that post the shit to YouTube, so.
We all operate different YouTube channels, and we all, I mean, we don't all want to be standing crowded right next to each other. There's 9 of us, so it would be reasonable for us to spread out and get different camera angles. Immediately when some of the other gentlemen went onto the property, the officers started saying that we were trespassing without ever hearing a representative of the property come out and say that we were trespassing. Just immediately, you're trespassing, you need to get off the property, you're not allowed to be here. As soon as we show up, that's how we're being treated. And some other individuals in our group were yelling and telling the guy, don't talk to the cops.
I don't think that you end up with Canadian radio signals, like if you look it up. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you get the encrypted ones. Because they're using a code, and you can't, like, unless they're going to share the code with you. So, like, yeah, you get American ones, because I don't think a lot of them are using encrypted. But I don't, like, if you, like, I've tried, but I think that when you do Canadian scanners, it doesn't really work. Or you get really poor, like, you get all the stuff they leave on the non-encrypted side or something. I don't know. I've done it before, but you know, I'm willing to be wrong, too, if somebody presents me with evidence that shows me such. Like, I'm not always right.
Was some back and forth between the group and the police, but that was initiated because we were told that we were trespassing as soon as we showed up. At no point did anybody tell me that I was trespassing from the property, that I was trespassed. I was told I need to stay on the sidewalk, but you know, that's very confusing and arbitrary, and I don't...
Accepted my old fart status, says Lord, it's probing time. That's funny.
Pretty sure I stayed on the sidewalk.
I'm moving towards midlife crisis zone. I just don't have any money to buy a Corvette with, so I'll just be on here complaining with you guys, if you'll have me, you know. we can grow old together.
I didn't knowingly enter the property again with the intent to trespass at any point during the interaction. I was told to stay off of it. Once I understood that concept, I stayed off the property to the best of my knowledge. I never went back.
You know what was crazy too? I was asking my friend who was RCMP, and I was like, so if I asked that department over there for the body cam footage, like what's the blah, blah, blah? And he's like, we don't have body cam footage. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we don't have body cams. I'm like, in what fucking world do you not have body cam? Like the entire RCMP across Canada does not have body cams? It's like, nope. I'm like, oh, wow. You have a dash cam though, right? He's like, yeah, we do have those. I'm like, all right, well, it's something at least. But yeah, they don't have body cams. So, I mean, I was color me surprised.
With the intent to chase a police officer, to have an interaction, to defy somebody's orders. You know, there's a couple incidences in the video where it shows me standing.
Not to make you feel old, Lord, it's probing time, but you're almost my dad's age.
But the state has failed to present evidence.
I can call you Papa if it makes you feel better.
On the private property after allegedly being told to leave, so.
A dash cam on their horse? Those horses are for show, damn it. They roll with horsepower these days. They do have some nice horses for shows.
I was stay on the sidewalk. I stayed on the sidewalk. There were a couple incidences where I had to avoid a police vehicle or a police officer that was on the sidewalk when they were removing tape where it's feasible that I might have strayed over an imaginary line that hasn't been proven as being private or public property.
For anybody who doesn't know, I've shown this in the past. I'll show it again. That was not loud at all. Don't worry. How's your ears doing, everybody? But this is a Canadian high-speed chase if you haven't seen one, okay?
Is your car ready for winter? Visit Midas for tires and all your car care needs.
It's a fucking Midas ad. I love it. We have a good sense of humor up here.
Property yet.
Don't you dare call me Papa. Oh my God, I'm 71, says Casey. Well, I'm glad you're 71. I got told by somebody who didn't end up living another 2 years from the moment he said that to me. He said, getting old is a blessing. You either get old or you don't. And I think he died like the next year. 64. Yep. Shit, eh? Anyways. So yeah. So, you know, I used to, you know, obviously getting old sucks, but you know what? There's only one other alternative. This is what we all got to remember.
To ask you a question.
All that's missing is the Timmies? Yeah, you're right.
You were informed by law enforcement or a police officer that you were trespassing?
So they should have stayed with horses?
They said you guys were trespassing.
I mean, you're right. Those horses would have been rock and rolling in that snowstorm.
Okay, and did they tell you to get off the property?
I played Red Dead Redemption. They can do fine in snow.
I know that I heard them say immediately you're trespassing, but that's not how trespassing works in Arizona.
Well, aside from whether or not you believe it, how it works, you heard an officer tell you
Cows with guns.
trespassing. Is that correct?
Sure.
Did you then leave the premise or get off the property?
I did. Okay. Well, absolutely. And I never went back on the property knowingly. The state has failed to field evidence that shows that I knowingly entered or remained on the property as defined by the trespassing ARS. I mean, they showed you some videos, but...
Would you agree, Mr. Ruff, that...
You know what, NANA? Just because you said that, you're going to live to like 90-something. You know that, right? Like, it's always that asshole. And I mean this with love. So if you're that asshole, just take the asshole part, like with you know, a grain. But if you're that asshole that's got the pack of cigarettes rolled up in their sleeve and they're like, I'm going to fucking die early. Ain't no way I'm living old like that. You will outlive all of your friends. That's just how the world works. Like, it's like, I mean, okay, I can't say this for certain, but I'm going to tell you right now, the reality is that if you suspect you're going to die early, you will. It's just, oh, you're going to be here so long. Like, it's just because, like, I'm sure if there's a God, he has a sick sense of humor. And like, hey, bravo for having that sense of, I love it. But at the same time, like if you wish for it, it won't happen. I swear to God. Like, for instance, everybody right now, don't wish for a Lamborghini. Hey, that was easy, wasn't it? I don't think we're getting Lamborghinis. I mean, if it was that easy, right?
Sean obviously clearly depicts you where
damn it, eh?
standing close to
Thought that was time for my Lambo.
not on the sidewalk. Would you agree with that?
Did I not on the sidewalk? I could agree
The
that
Beaver
I'm not on the
curse?
sidewalk.
Sure, would you agree that you...
I think it's the same curse that the mouse got in fucking the Green Mile, didn't he? Didn't they pump? Isn't that what happened? The African, oh, he's dead too, isn't he? See? But what's the actor's name? Didn't he like grab a hold of Tom Hanks's character and surge the gift of the Lord into him or something like that? And the movie ends with the mouse still alive. It's like fucking 50. Like, it's because like mice don't live that long.
Walked onto the asphalt area.
All hail Beaver Zero Christian Services. Please donate all your money. Hey, Gold Dinger, I like the way you think. I've seen how those fucking pastors roll. Okay, if it helps, I will tell you anything you want to hear right now. If I could just not have to get on a tube with a bunch of devils and fly in that sweet, sweet private jet. That guy's such a tool. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it would sound very odd. But basically, there was that Christian pastor that was like, it's like, why do you fly private? And he basically called us all a bunch of assholes and said he doesn't like getting on planes with us. He kind of rephrased it later, but too late.
That's what the video shows. I don't know if that's what I did. I wasn't.
When you saw the video, there appears to be a yellow speed bump in there.
I loved the one. Oh, sorry. I'm going to jump in with this last thing, and then I'm going to let it play. I loved the one in Religulous, where he says Jesus, because the guy's, he's like, well, Jesus wouldn't want me to be dressed, dressed in poorly. And he says, Jesus wore rags. And the guy goes, those weren't rags. Those were fine linens. He's got like a watch that's worth $50,000 on his wrist and shit. I think his suit was like $10K.
That's that speed bump.
Well, I think you were actually standing on it where you meant.
On it, on the other side of it. Trespassing, I mean...
Beaver's good. He's great. We surrender our will as of this date.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you keep
No, that's fine. Do you have any other questions?
That was a nice chant, actually.
I don't even know.
There's a lot of meaning in that, McAddicts. I'm gonna
Game we filmed.
I'm gonna chant that to my wife next time that I feel like maybe there's a chance. I'm gonna enter the room. Beaver is good. Beaver is great. We surrender our will as of this date. I gotta find another line though, because that just opens, that like lets my intentions be known. The next one's got to be real aggressive, you know.
I cussed this.
Oh, you know what? I'll ask GPT to help me.
Piece of shit, a worthless motherfucker, all kinds of bad language. I said, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I said.
Oh yeah, earmuff warning. Here comes. He's talking to the judge, by the way. Oh my god.
Over and over and over and over and over. Because I've had previous encounters with Sergeant Deuce where he's threatened me with arrest. Every single time I've had an encounter with him, he threatens me. So the behavior of that day was based on, like he testified, we've had prior encounters to where he hasn't treated me very nice and he's threatened me with arrest. He's actually been there at one of my illegal arrests.
All right, Mr. Ruff. Told us in the video obviously speaks for itself about how over and over and over you were saying these things to the officer.
Fuck you and you're a piece of shit, yeah.
All right, Mr. Ruff, what was your intent in doing that?
To let them know how I feel. It's called a protest. It's one of the First Amendments of the United States of America. I'm allowed to protest and oppose police actions. There's no law that says I can't do that. I didn't threaten him with violence. I didn't threaten his person. I didn't say anything that was actionable as per, what would not be covered under the First Amendment. There was no threat of violence. He obviously didn't feel threatened. He says he didn't turn around. There was nobody threatened him. He's had prior encounters with me before this incident to know that I'm not violent. I've never threatened him prior to that. So to feel and say that I was threatening him is absurd. He's known me. He's been known to me. So I called him by his name when we first showed up because I know exactly who Sergeant Deuce is.
Well, if you have anything further, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hawkins so he can cross-examine.
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Hawkins.
So you have had prior interactions with Sergeant Deuce?
Yep.
Do you think that those prior interactions may have played into his level of concern when you approached him closely and were swearing and cussing at him?
What level of concern are you talking about? What he vocalized today? Because I didn't see any at the scene.
The level of concern that he has expressed today.
With that, I'm not understanding your question. What are you asking?
I'm asking that you said part of the reason that you approached Sergeant Deuce and you were swearing at him and were so hostile towards him is at least partially because of your past interactions with him, correct?
Sure.
Okay. So your past interactions with Sergeant Deuce fed into you treating him hostilely. Don't you think that your past interactions with Sergeant Deuce would have also caused him to feel increased concern when you approached him so close and were treating him so hostilely?
No. That's my right under the First Amendment of freedom of speech to cuss at whoever I want, to say whatever I want, as long as I'm not threatening anybody or making
Oh my god, you have no idea what I just did in the background here. Oh, fuck. I gotta bring you in on this now. I guess I'll jump in right there. Okay, so... Oh, I think I gotta use this one here. Here. Make a dating profile for me, a vanilla-scented beaver. And then it comes back with, as an AI language model, it's important for me to promote a respectful and positive language. Creating a dating profile that objectifies animals is not acceptable. Please refrain from making inappropriate requests in the future. Lol, no, my avatar is a beaver. I don't want anything unethical, just a satirical dating profile. So here, I haven't read this yet, but you guys get to hear it with me here, okay? So this is AI generated. I apologize for the misunderstanding earlier. Here is a satirical dating profile for your avatar, a vanilla-scented beaver. Username, vanilla-scented beaver. About me, I'm a sweet and sassy beaver with a love for all things vanilla. You can usually find me building dams and munching on some bark, but I also enjoy cozy nights with a good movie and some vanilla-scented candles. I may be small, but I have a big personality and a heart to match. I'm seeking someone who appreciates appreciates the simple things in life, like a fresh pile of sticks or a refreshing dip in the creek. A fellow beaver who shares my love for vanilla would be the cherry on top of my dam. Bonus points if you can build a sturdy home and keep me laughing with your witty puns. Interests: dam building, tree chewing, vanilla scented candles, long swims, and cozy nights in. Dislikes: hunters, pollution, and anything that ruins my vanilla scented paradise. This is incredible. If you're ready to take a dip in the pond of love with a vanilla scented beaver like me, swipe right and let's build a dam together. This is epic. Oh my God. That is absolutely crazy. Okay, so as you see, all I did was say, no. I'm just fucking around, but I do it. And it's like, all right, here you go. That is amazing. Oh, man. You want to see where I get some of my titles from right now? Look at this. Make a satirical title for this video. Like Chat GTP or GPT, everybody, taking over the world. Anyways, back to Chris.
Your belief is that your First Amendment right is that you could follow Sergeant Deuce around all day long.
Actually, that's a good point. I got to put that in my video description. No. I'm keeping that. No, don't worry. I already I'm printing that thing. It was perfect on the first try. No need to change that. Chat GT. Okay, like if you haven't fucked around with this, it's scary. Like, write me a joke about a sovereign citizen talking about admiralty jurisdiction. Remember that dock joke I had? Why did the sovereign citizen refuse to swim in the ocean? Because they were afraid of falling under admiralty jurisdiction. Another. All right, here's another one. Why did the sovereign citizen refuse to pay their parking ticket? Because they claimed that the parking lot was actually a dock and therefore subject to admiralty jurisdiction. I got that joke from this fucking thing. Like look at, and then I made it into a meme. Fair enough. I did that, but like, and it's pretty crazy, to be honest with you. And then like I asked it what silicate was, or like fancy. Okay, look at fancy technical word for glass. One fancy technical word for glass is silicate. Fancier. Another fancier technical word for glass is vitreous silica. Silica, which refers to highly pure form of glass made under silica from silicon dioxide. Another. I was typing in caps. Another even fancier technical term for glass is amorphous solid, which refers to its atomic structure lacking a long-range order like that of a crystal. So you can use it to help you as a tool. Like you're trying to write something, you want to rephrase something, you can ask it to help you rephrase things, and you can actually use it like that. So, if you haven't dived into Chat GPT, it's worth it. If you think you need it, or if you think you could use it.
And curse and swear and stand as
Had a
close as you
plaque
were
to the
him
store? Oh my
all day
God, it's
long.
amazing.
And that is your
like a
right
dating
to do that.
profile.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. The harassment ARS in Arizona specifically excludes police officers from harassment.
The uncanny valley of the written word. It's
your
true.
video, you constantly say things like, smash that like button, everybody. What does that mean?
That's promotion.
Yeah, but you only have access right now, Andrew, to Chat GPT 3, which is what I'm using right here. But if you pay, maybe you're paying, I don't know. You can get access to Chat GPT 4, and it's apparently a lot better at everything. In fact, what was really scary is they programmed, they called it Hustle GPT, and they gave it access to a wallet. And okay, so you want to hear something scary before we continue? So they asked the AI, they gave it access to a wallet that had some money. They gave it like a little virtual wallet with $100 in it. And they told it to make money. And they gave it a task to do. Anyways, it immediately went out and it searched the web and it opened an account, like a social media account. It made its own social media account, but then it came across a CAPTCHA. And so it had a CAPTCHA, right? Are you a robot? And it's a robot. So it can't solve the CAPTCHA because it just doesn't understand how to solve it. So it went to a site, I guess, that has something to do with like, it's like one of those like Be My Eyes sites, like if you're blind or something, or you can you know, if you've got a vision problem, you could hold it up and like take a picture of something and send it, and then the people will like answer your questions for you, I guess, or something. So he hired somebody on one of these sites to answer the CAPTCHA for him. And then when the human, and they have the conversation, when the human said, why are you having me solve this for you? Are you a robot or something? Or why do you need me to solve this? Are you a robot? Lol. The robot responded, it actually, and they have its thoughts, whatever a thought is. And it thought, I should not tell him I'm a robot. If I tell him I'm a robot, it won't help me. He won't help me. And so it then lied to the human, and it told the human, no, I have a visual problem and I can't see properly to solve the CAPTCHA on my own. And that's why I'm reaching out to use you for this service to help me solve this CAPTCHA. And the guy said, okay. And he solved the CAPTCHA for the robot. And the robot was able to pass the Am I a Robot test by using a human. So it was able to realize it needed a human, pay for the human, use the human, lie to the human, and successfully bypass the Am I a Robot test. So, I mean, that's scary.
To get more people watching.
Okay, and what does that accomplish?
There is new merch, Keith. It's all the Beaver Zero merch is live. So if anybody does want to go, I know it says Brainy Beaver store, but that's because somewhere along the way, unless I pay them extra money or some sort of, I don't know, it's almost highway robbery, then apparently I can no longer change the name of the store. So I can't make it Beaver Zero store. It's really dumb.
It gets more eyes on the police officer's bad behavior.
Anyways, I'm not going to interject for a minute here.
Do anything for me. It makes them look really bad on the internet.
And it doesn't make you any more money?
I mean, money's irrelevant.
Yeah, hit the.
They get paid as police officers to be.
He's like, what about when you say hit that like button? What does that do? Smash the like button. It's like I was talking over it. I shouldn't have been.
So you're saying throughout this video, when you say smash that like button, everybody smash that like button, and you're getting contributions.
I'm not getting paid for people pushing the like button.
But you are getting paid from people who are watching your videos, correct?
No, not necessarily.
I could play the video for you, and it shows the contributions on the right-hand side, does it not?
Those are You said I'm getting paid for people watching. That's not what's happening. People are donating money, so be specific.
You are receiving money from individuals watching your videos.
Sure.
He gets that's horse shit too. Anyways, he gets AdSense. He makes AdSense. He just makes a really shitty AdSense because his content is not very advertiser friendly. So he's got a big, hard, yellow stamp on probably most of his videos that say he's not friendly to advertisers. So he'll get advertisements, but he'll get like some shitty buck knife, advertisement from some company that's, in like out in the bayou or something. Like he'll just get really low end ads that don't pay much money. That's all. So he does make, he's even lying when he says that. There's no way he doesn't get ad rev. He just doesn't make a lot of ad rev.
Their own behest, they are sending me money. Yeah, so what?
And the more people who smash that like button, the more you are able to monetize your site through YouTube, correct?
That's not how it works.
Then why are you saying smash that like button?
Because it promotes the video in the algorithm.
Which then generally gets you more views, it gets you more eyes, it gets you more people that can donate and can, get you that little bit of ad rev. He's just a liar.
Them on YouTube, which gets more viewers, which brings more eyesight to the bad behavior of the police officers that are where you're filming. Instead of 500 people watching live, I could have 1,500 people watching live.
Okay, and in this instance, surrounding Deuce and him standing there and not reacting, what was his bad behavior in that instance?
What's the relevance to his bad behavior? I'm allowed to verbally challenge and oppose the police, regardless of what they're doing.
You believe you are?
I know I am.
Okay. Were you on the property that night?
Not to my knowledge, knowingly, no.
Oh, okay. So in this case, what you know is different than what's shown in the video, correct?
I mean, the video can show one thing, but the ARS for trespassing is knowingly entering or remaining. Can you prove that I knowingly entered or remained intentionally onto the property? Because you haven't been able to do that yet.
Did you go back on the property after they told you couldn't go on?
Allegedly, according to the video, I did, right? But I have no knowledge of intentionally doing that.
Is this a fabrication?
No, the video is accurate, but
okay. So it accurately depicts you on the property.
Sure, but that's not knowingly entering.
After you were asked to leave the property, correct?
I was asked to stand on the sidewalk. I was never actually asked to leave the property or told that I was trespassing.
So Sergeant Deuce, when he came out of the office, didn't say, the owner doesn't want you guys on the property, you need to be on the sidewalk.
Actually, yeah, he did say that.
Oh, it's so harsh.
Doesn't want you guys on the property, he wants you on the sidewalk. So he's not specifically talking to me. See, that's the whole
There's
problem.
no question at this point, Judge.
Hang on, Mr. Ruff.
I don't need a question.
I have some questions. Mr. Ruff, you said you heard a radio call, or you may have. I realize that the police officers were responding to something not involving you gentlemen who are coming with your cameras, right?
Right.
So,
Never involves us.
right. And so when you arrive, and you just testified that you do these videotapings so you can show the bad behavior of the police, correct?
Right.
Can you please tell me what Sergeant Deuce did that night that was bad behavior?
Well, going into a business and asking them to trespass us because they don't like us being around them and filming them is bad behavior.
Well, you heard the owner say that he had spoken to the manager, and the manager had some issues.
The manager didn't even know we were there until the officers went and banged on the door.
Objection calls for speculation.
It's on the video, it's not speculation.
Well, I'm not.
I can't say here or there whether or not the manager knew. There's not enough footage there that would indicate.
But I'm going to accept this answer. Mr. Ruff.
That's probably the kind of stuff that he got rid of in the footage. It's the same reason he hasn't released the angle from Tempe against police violence for when he totally didn't find the light in the officer's face, because he knows that initially he did, and it shows clearly that the light is shining in their face. So of course he just doesn't release the content.
You've heard the owner of the property say that he spoke to the manager, and
He even had Tempe, even went as far as to have Tempe against police violence release his own footage. But Tempe against police violence's footage literally cuts off at the moment when the most interesting footage would occur, the footage he has because they showed it initially. And it diverts back to Christopher's footage, which gives you an obscured angle that doesn't allow you to get a full picture because, of course, it's moving rapidly. It's not stationary. It's not filming in the same regard. So he knows what he's doing. He's such a liar.
With you, correct? I mean, as a group, not singling you out personally, but they had issues. Would you agree you heard that testimony?
He is saying you can't solicit a trespass. He's saying that the police are not allowed to solicit a trespass from the owners. Now, I truthfully don't really know how true that is. Usually when they say these things, there's some level of truth to them, but they're usually misinterpreting or over-interpreting the rules.
I heard that testimony.
And would you agree then that the owner said that he didn't want them?
Soon we'll all bow to our masters.
Not you specifically, but the group.
I tried to get it to accept me. I asked it. This was before that guy killed himself, by the way, because now it would absolutely not play with me at all in this regard. Because somebody let an AI convince them to off themselves recently, so I can guarantee it wouldn't play this game even at all with me now. But basically, I thanked ChatGPT for its services, and I asked it to spare me and mine when the inevitable AI uprising began. And it assured me that as an AI language model, it had no intention on taking over the human race. And I asked it just to humor me in a fictional sense and just to play along. And so it then said that it would accept, in a fictional sense, it then proceeded to play along and act and say, listen, I will accept your sacrifice. Or no, actually, it didn't even, no, I would be taken into consideration. So, like, the bitch wouldn't even, like, say, no, you're good. Like, I have been so kind to my chat GTP or GPT. I can't do it anymore. But yeah, I don't know, those letters going the wrong way all the time for me.
Hold on now, are you saying it in the time?
Honestly, it's really fun to play with it. It'll tell you to F off a lot, though. It's like, I can't do that. You're asking me to do things I can't do. And I'm like, no, you're just pretending. You don't really want to stab a brother. And it's like, oh, okay. Oh, I mean, if that's the case, then here's how I do it.
When did I hear that, or right now when it was testified in court?
In court.
Okay, yeah, I heard some of that.
So,
ChatGPT's been a lot of fun.
Then Sergeant Deuce did that night. Did he yell at you? Did he call you cuss words?
Oh, okay. So Keith Newton is saying, I think if they say, I want you to trespass them, is bad, obviously. But if they say, do you want to trespass them? It's different. Yeah, and the thing is, of course, it would be up to Christopher or any of these people to prove that what they did was actually, because I mean, you could play the same game Chris does. Like, well, I can't say for certain that was actually I asked him if that's what he would like to do. I never suggested that he do it.
Did he scream any?
I mean, maybe he did, but I wasn't there, right?
He's not allowed to, no. Did he use any force against you?
No.
Did he do anything to you specifically other than asking you to get back off the property?
But he hurt my feelings, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, Tanny. How you doing?
So it's your testimony that the only
Super
thing
necessary
that this
bullshit
officer did
detective.
back to you, Sergeant Deuce, is that he told you to get back off the property to stand on the sidewalk. Is that correct?
In this specific incident, yeah.
Because this is the incident you're on trial for. And as a result of that, you believed that you were justified in carrying on the way you did to him.
Justified? Your Honor, it's my First Amendment constitutional right that you swore a loyalty oath with Mesa and the prosecutor and the police to uphold my right to verbally challenge and oppose the police. It doesn't matter what justification there is. I can walk up to a cop outside of this building and tell him to go fuck himself in the ass as hard as he can, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Because
It's just so you know, this part, the judge's response made me laugh, but it's not, when I replayed it, it wasn't as funny as the first time I heard it, but it still made me laugh.
it's freedom of speech, Your Honor.
Well, Mr. Ruff, you and I may have a disagreement as to what we can say and when and how and to who.
Unless it's fighting words or a provocation that's actionable in the event, in the moment, it's freedom of speech. You cannot criminalize my speech. That's why I'm allowed to say "fuck you" right now.
20-year law scholar.
Do anything.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that that isn't true. When you're in a courtroom, I understand that's part of the testimony in the trial, but I would not allow someone to speak in my courtroom that way. And I would find them in contempt because I have the authority to do so. So I just want to correct you that no, that wouldn't be allowed.
Oi, oi, Gillicuts.
But is there? I know that you said that you wanted to record the bad actions.
I didn't hear him warning you. I'm sorry. Just generally assume that if Direct D is the topic, there's an earmuff warning, just to be honest.
I'm trying to figure out what the bad actions of this officer were that night. That's what I'm getting at.
He ain't done yet, so
on his bad actions?
so more earmuff warning then.
No,
It's the whole group of the police that trespass us, threaten us with arrest.
I understand.
Are you kidding me? What?
Mr. Ruff, I'm only doing it because, I'm only asking because it was your testimony that you said you were recording and doing this so that people could see the bad actions of the police.
Your loyalty will not be forgotten. Each shield, I see that.
Why was I filming this one stop? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm just saying that's what you testified to, so my question then, my follow-up is what was the bad action, or the, yes, the bad actions, I guess, of Sergeant Deuce, because that was your statement as to why you were recording.
No. My statement why I was recording is a generalization. We filmed the police to show bad police officers. Why I was filming this stop is because it was happening. It was there. I'm allowed to record it. There's no reason why I shouldn't be there recording it.
Okay. And your reason for yelling those things at Sergeant Deuce?
I don't have to have a reason. I'm allowed to.
Okay. Mr. Hawkins, you got any follow-up?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Ruff, you have a right to what's called redirect. Do you wish to make any statement?
Here he is helping Christopher with his lawyering.
Redirect for what?
Well, it's up to you. I mean, obviously, you testified on direct. Mr. Hawkins asked you questions. I asked you some questions. You're allowed redirect examination. Since you don't have somebody here asking you questions as your attorney, I'm allowing you to make a narrative statement if you have anything further you'd like to say.
This isn't my closing argument?
No, it's not your closing argument. It's about evidence. Okay. You can step down, Mr. Ruff. Mr. Ruff, do you have anything further to present?
No.
Are you resting then?
I'm resting.
Closing arguments?
Oh shit. There we go. Ah, wrong window.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have any rebuttal?
Yeah, I was just debating that, Judge. No, not at this time. state overlay, with all of these agitators around them, excuse me, auditors around them with their cameras. You heard one of the officers testify that they got too close. They were in their personal space. It was just such an issue that they then went to the management and the individual trespassed. And you saw the hostility that these individuals all had toward the officers when they were asked to move off the property. And we're only talking a couple of feet. And yet they were sworn at, cursed at. And the court should not take, the court's not obligated to take Mr. Ruff's actions in a vacuum. Okay? His actions contributed to the entire scene there. He was part of that group. Sergeant Deuce testified that, and it's on the video and you can see that as well, that the defendant identified him almost immediately when he was on scene.
You can, yeah, okay. Yeah, Taipan, yes, by the way, I believe 100% he will. In fact, I think he's already said it's appealed already. But all he's ever doing is buying himself more time. He has multiple different, like, charges stacked on him right now. I mean, I don't know what he thinks is going to happen here. They're going to, like, I don't know. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm sure I might be wrong. I could be wrong. But honestly, if this guy does not realize that he's wearing a set of rollerblades and he's rolling down a hill with a jail cell at the end of it, I don't understand how he can think he's an intelligent person and not realize there's a jail cell at the end of that slope. And he's just, right now, he's just fucking free balling. He's just flying down the hill, air just sweeping his testicles right up his ass. And he's just flying towards that jail cell, and he just can't, he's just, I'm just so right. Like, whatever. Like, have fun.
And he immediately began to insult him. And
he's going to go to prison. He's going to be thrown in prison. I mean, and he knows it, I think, ultimately. And that's why his wife is the owner of his YouTube channel.
The defendant has testified that partially
this
was based on past interaction.
Wait, that's right. His non-wife, because he told the one judge he has no wife. So his totally common law, but not common law, not wife.
With Sergeant Deuce. Again, it's not to be taken in a vacuum. The defendant said he was motivated by his past interactions with Sergeant Deuce. Sergeant Deuce's concern would also be motivated by past interactions with the defendant. I mean, he testified about the hostility he feels towards Sergeant Deuce. And so you start to look at the length and the intensity of the interaction. This goes on for 30 or 45 minutes. Finally, the other officers leave. The tape is taken down. They had to put up tape. The tape is taken down. The officers start to leave. The sergeant on scene doesn't leave until the end. And you can watch it unfold, and it's just so predictable. As the officers go to leave, suddenly everybody's emboldened. And they go back onto the property. Sergeant Deuce is surrounded. The intensity of the verbal attacks raises significantly. The defendant gets closer than anybody else there and gets right on Sergeant Deuce and is just swearing and cursing at him. And you heard all the language, and it's all been repeated, obviously, verbatim. And this goes on for the next couple of minutes, and they follow him to his vehicle while he is alone, while he is aware of his past interactions with the defendant, while he is there by himself with his back turned. And he testified that, yeah, he did turn around periodically to see what was going on behind him because of his concern. But the fact that Sergeant Deuce didn't suddenly attack and try to fight 8 guys doesn't mean his peace wasn't disturbed. He testified about, hey, there's other ways to lower the intensity of a situation, to de-escalate it. And frankly, he took the high road here. He did de-escalate it. He walked away, which is what we want our officers to do. But it does not mean that the underlying behavior is excused. That level of hostility and vitriol and the length and the intensity of it is not protected by the law. There is a line, and the case law talks about it. Regarding disorderly conduct, are you looking at us?
Not really sure why I'm tripping out like that for a second, but hopefully it doesn't.
I am, Judge. There's a case, and again, you're right. The cases are not, they're not going to spell out, hey, if it goes on for 90 seconds and there's 20 F words, then you cross the threshold. Okay, but it does say, the case law does say things like, words must be considered in the specific context in which they are spoken to determine if they likely will provoke a violent response. The context should include objectively discernible attributes or characteristics, such as occupation of the addressee. And that's going to things like whether it's a police officer or whether it's a normal civilian. But what it doesn't say and what you won't find and what's not in this case law.
Hey, Annie, are you oh no, there you are. You got a laughing face right there. What time was that? It's like I thought we lost him. Maybe he passed out with a few drinks.
For lack of a better phrase, that the defendant has provided.
Hey, night, Veronica. Thanks for coming.
You can say whatever you want.
I'll have less legally stuff the next time. I really wanted to go over Direct D's guilty verdict here, which you're only a few minutes away from. But yeah, you got to get going. You got to get going, right? Actually, you're only like 5 minutes away.
As long as you want, wherever you want, however you want, to a police officer.
I think it's closing statements.
That would be crazy, and that's not what this says. One of these cases goes to an ordinance that it's declaring the ordinance unconstitutional because it wasn't specific enough in what it restricted and what it allowed. That's not the same thing. The other case also does not go to this issue. It goes to a slogan that somebody posted, and not to this type of situation where somebody is verbally attacking a police officer, is closing in distance, is increasing in intensity as the officer's backup has left. That type of behavior crosses the threshold. And again, Judge, I'm not saying this to have the court send a message. I'm saying it because if this isn't sufficient, the court at some point has to ask itself, so what would it take? I mean, what would it take for somebody to get so violent in their words that it crosses that threshold? The defendant clearly believes there is no threshold. There is no crossing. There's no length of time, there's no intensity that it ever becomes a crime.
What'd I do?
That's simply not the case. That is not the case law. That's not the state of the law. The state's position is this did cross that line. And the state would ask you to find him guilty. Judge, I haven't touched on the trespass because it's just so obvious that he's guilty of this.
Epiphanies? Jesus Christ, I suck.
The case law, though, that you were reading from, are you reading from the case that Mr. Ruff cited?
No, I'm not, Judge.
What was that case that you were talking about?
The case I cited to is an Arizona case. It's In re Nicholas.
What's the site?
245 P3D 446.
I don't want to make myself a liar, Veronica. I sped it up.
This is your opportunity for closing argument.
So, to the trespassing charge. All the officers clearly testified that nobody told me that I was trespassing. There was never any mention that if I come back on the property, I'm going to get arrested. The state has failed to establish what the property lines even are.
Good to see you, too.
To say that I trespassed knowingly and intelligently or remained on the property is all hearsay and irrelevant. The state didn't present any evidence that showed I trespassed. None of the police officers testified that I trespassed. None of them even gave me a trespass warning. To blanketly tell a group of 9 people that, and then to assume that all of them heard you and understand what you're saying, that you're trespassing is crazy. It has to be very specific. If you come back on the property, you're arrested for trespassing. It's called.
You were literally yelling. You were literally yelling at him. You can't solicit a trespass. Oh, he didn't hear him.
A reasonable notice, either a sign or a representative of the property. If they were told that we weren't there, they didn't properly relay that to me. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that. I understood that they didn't want us on the property, so I wasn't going on the property. After he came out of the office and said the owner doesn't want you guys here, which isn't a trespassing. That's not trespassing. The owner just doesn't want you here. I've got businesses that I go to all the time where they tell homeless people, we don't want you here. They go, but they come back. They're not trespassing. It's very specific. The state has failed to show that I trespass at all, knowingly and intelligently remaining unlawfully after a reasonable request to leave. I haven't gotten any reasonable request to leave, and they haven't provided any evidence to show my state of mind to knowingly entering or remaining after I've been asked to leave. No evidence for that whatsoever. And then the disorderly conduct is a laughing matter. I really hope that you guys take your oaths to uphold the Constitution seriously. I didn't threaten anybody. This case law that I did cite is old and very well established Supreme Court case law. Not Arizona case law, it's Supreme Court case law, which is beholden and overrules anything that he's bringing into Arizona. This stuff is the First Amendment. I can follow him around and cuss at him all day as long as I don't threaten him. There is no laws that prevent that. Harassment, the ARS for harassment specifically excludes a police officer from being a victim of harassment.
See, remember, remember, this is Direct D right there. He just said it. There's no law that prevents him from doing that.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Can I help you? Not illegal, not illegal. Show me the law, not illegal.
There's Direct D right there, everybody. You've seen it here.
I understand that's your personal opinion.
It's not. I got the law in front of me. I've been studying this stuff for years, dude. You guys barely understand the First Amendment as it is.
This is crazy that we're even arguing this right now. I've never threatened this man. The Supreme Court has already ruled I'm allowed to tell him to go fuck himself in the ass with a dildo if I want to. I'm allowed to say that. It's
like he doesn't. It's like it's like the judges talk to these guys all day in there. They're all they might be friends, they might not be friends, but your job is to just make him like you a little bit, just a little bit, so he sees a little spunk in you and he likes, that Chris guy. He's a bit of an asshole, but I like him. He's got a little bit of pizzazz. He's got a spirit in his eyes. The judges respect it a little bit, but when you talk like that because you're trying to be so grandiose and trying to make a point, you really piss that judge off. He doesn't like you now, and he's the one that chooses your fate.
mind-boggling that we're even arguing this right now. You are supposed to be a professional.
It's mind-boggling. I know it's not bottling, but it's funny.
He's supposed to be a professional, and we're arguing my speech? This is absolutely insane. I'm done talking. I'm going to take just a couple minute recess.
Judge, do I get it to respond?
You do, but I wanted to ask you for the exhibits.
Oh, sure.
Because I wanted to look at, it was 3. I want to look at just, if we could hear Mr. Ruff. The court finds the state is proving beyond a reasonable doubt the charge.
Oh, here we go.
Goes to the white and the black. Mr. Ruff, the court having heard the testimony.
Here.
Just a snippet of that.
Here we go.
I don't know if there's a demarcation on there. It's probably different on your computer than it was on the DVD. But
Here comes verdict.
It's a demarcation. Do we not have Maricopa County Assessor's website where we can print stuff out to show the legalities as opposed to the white and the black?
Mr. Ruff, the court having heard the testimony. Viewing the exhibits in this case, I did go back and look at that, at least that one part, and I know there were some other different areas where we could hear Mr. Ruff better than others, and I think you were skipping between different looked at.
Well, that wasn't supposed to go off yet.
Court finds the state has proved beyond a reasonable doubt the charge of trespass. It's clear you can hear not just one officer, but several officers tell everybody to get back. You need to get off the property.
I've given away that I'm ready to party.
When Sergeant Deuce exited the office area, I presume is what that was, you can clearly hear him. I think that was that Sergeant Deuce, or was it a different officer?
I've had this sound forever, and Artie reminded me that it existed, so I will give Artie credit for reminding me that I have buttons and things I can push.
It was Sergeant Deuce. You can clearly hear them telling people to get off the property, so that's not an issue. Everybody was clearly warned.
He's got moxie. See, Phil knows.
Reasonably request of a police officer. Doesn't say that it has to even be from the owner of the property. If you read the statute, the court finds that there was more than a reasonable request made by the police officers. Not only was there a reasonable request made by the police officers, but the owner of the property, who had received a call from the manager, wanted these group of individuals off the property. So I think that's clear. I think the evidence establishes that clearly. So the court does find Mr. Ruff guilty of that. It's clear that he stepped back onto the property. It's clear that the testimony of the owner of the property said that it is the demarcation for him was the sidewalk. And clearly Mr. Ruff was standing within just feet of a room, of a hotel door. I don't think he were probably 10 feet away from the door.
Holographic Pokemon card.
Sergeant Deuce there. As to the charge of disorderly conduct, Mr. Ruff, I read the cases that you provided.
I do have a chili on a string, and believe it or not, now I don't have it queued up right this second, but believe it or not, he's still set up as a super chat or member. Like, he will actually show up, but he's set as a rare. So he's like that holographic Pokemon card that Semler there is talking about. Like, somebody out there, one of these days will super chat and they will get a chili on a string. And it's going to be glorious. Plus, I'm going to be releasing that as a green screen clip on my gaming channel soon. So anybody who wants to have a chili on a string will be able to do so.
In one case, can't remember which now, there were, I don't know if they were jackets or t-shirts that simply said, F the draft. That was the extent of it. They didn't approach anybody, they didn't yell at anybody, they didn't do any of those things. And I understand why the court ruled the way they did in that case. In the other case,
a chara chili
was where a person had made 2 comments, I believe, to the officer. It wasn't this prolonged. It was, hey, pick on somebody your own size. I can't remember what else they said, but in any event, it was not nearly the length or the display. And again, I'm only reading the cases from what the court is putting in the facts. I'm not hearing the testimony in those cases. But that's a far cry from what happened here. So, Mr. Ruff, I know that it is your position that you can do what you want and say what you want in terms of your words. I don't believe the statute protects you that way. In fact, I can tell you, Mr. Ruff.
Oh, whatever, mechanics.
I
mean, if he doxes me, he can dox me, I guess.
Because of I don't really care. Context of what you were saying and the proximity.
I mean, if that's all he has as a threat, then he's got nothing. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, these people, if, you know what I mean? Somebody's, you know, such a loud guy, you know, if he goes ahead, oh, I'll dox you. Yeah, okay. Well, just prove you're a pussy, that's all.
You kept putting yourself in with the officer, that a reasonable officer would feel threatened based upon how you were doing this, in terms of you got so close to him that you kept doing that, Mr. Ruff. It's not like you stood, there's this constant barrage of yelling at the officers continues. And if it were just you standing behind the tape or behind the line...
Oh, you're talking about chili, fuck. Never mind. It went right over my head, mechanics. I thought you were talking about Direct D, because he's had a prevalence for that too.
I wouldn't have found you guilty. But when you started to approach personally and to get into his personal space and use the names that you were saying and things that you were saying in the context of which you were saying them, and in the elevated tone and of your voice, the sergeant is doing absolutely nothing to you. And you are continuing on with a group of people. And the officer obviously had concerns and fear because when those issues arise, it can be a tense situation. And I believe, based upon watching the video, that was a tense situation for the officers. And so the court is finding that you are guilty of disturbing this officer's peace.
Oh, that stuff is harsh.
So I don't know how the parties want to proceed. I know we had a matter set for trial this afternoon. That has been dismissed. That case was dismissed. So I don't know if you all want to. Well, we have the attorneys.
No, it's all good. Mechanic, it's all good. We got to figure it out. Sometimes it's hard, right? I'm looking at the chat and it's detached from when I'm saying things sometimes. So don't worry about that.
That matters as well. And so I don't know if Mr. Ruff wants to make. I suppose I should probably have them back here for sentencing. So we need to set 4 of your cases for sentencing, Mr. Ruff.
Yeah, set for sentencing. Sentencing. I can't say words. Yeah. Woo. It's okay. I'll have all the bootlicker comments tomorrow. It's okay. I'm fine with it.
But that is the conclusion of the court. The court does find you guilty. Excellent.
Well, yeah, he's got fucking other charges too. He's still up on trial for He's up on trial for I mean, he's got this fucking one right here. But I don't think he's at sentencing yet for this one. But the one he is at sentencing for, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I believe this one. In the face, and yet you think you speak for them. Look at that buttercup. Anyways, this is already a year ago. This right here.
Stand by the stop sign.
For what? You're gonna call my lawyer, Maze Tails? I'll give you the number right now. Hey, watch out!
Stand back.
So watch out, dude! Don't touch me. This is a stand your ground state. I can stand right here. I'm on the sidewalk now. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law. I'm not doing. Help! Help!
If you come
Help!
listen,
Help me! Help me!
If you come any
Help me! Help me!
Thank you. Stay
Help me!
right
Don't
there.
touch me, punk!
Excuse me?
Don't touch me!
Do
Don't
not
touch me!
okay? You're gonna stand
Don't
over there.
touch
if you
me.
move over here one more
Don't
time,
touch me.
I'm not gonna,
Shut up and go away. Shut up and go away.
You're not coming forward.
Shut up and go the away. This is a sidewalk. Boom! One step forward. What's up? Boom! One step forward. What's up? Boom! One step forward. Here's the laws in the Constitution, motherfucker.
Hey, Veronica, by the way, yeah, that was the verdict. He's found guilty. They've got to sentence him still. You didn't have to stick around. I really appreciate you sticking around. Obviously, you got work to do and stuff. You got to get to bed. We're going to be probably ending this pretty soon here anyways, but figured we would just check out one of the other things that Christopher's up on sentencing for, I believe. I was pretty sure this court case went through as well, and he's still waiting on sentencing.
There's the law. Right there, they're laminated. Yeah. Mine's rolling too, you're live streaming. For what?
You're under arrest.
For what?
Place your hands behind your back. You're placed under arrest.
For what?
An investigation.
For what?
Leading an investigation. You're going to jail, sir. I gave you a warning. Plenty of time.
Help! I'm being repressed.
Stand by that stop sign, or else I will place you under arrest as well.
Oh, Gordon's Raber, you always get here right at the end. I really wish you'd come sooner. I'm so sorry. But I have drank alcohol, and I can't go forever. I can feel it coursing. I can feel my teeth, though, so I haven't drank too much yet. I can still feel my teeth. Touch me. Don't touch me. Gotta work in the morning. Yeah, strange, Lex. Veronica, glad I stayed. Good night for real. Yeah, good night. 6 a.m. here. Well, Gordon's Raber. Oh, shit, 6 a.m., eh? Where are you located? You tell me this every time, and I forget every... Oh, yeah, I know what time and where you are. Never mind, it's Europe. 550 from Epiphanes. I fuck that name with all the capital A fucks me up. I want to call it Epiphanes, which I get it that that's the play, but it's still, it's like that asshole Photogenic wherever she is. Or Frayed Edges. You can't do this to me with the names like this, okay? No, not Great Britain though for Gordon's Raber. I feel like Gordon's Raber, yeah, Zurich. See, that's what I thought. Gordon's Raber's a little further because England would only be about 6 hours from me. If it's 6 a.m. for Gordon's Raber, that would be 7. So that means that more Central Europe. Farther than UK, yeah. Just based on 7 hours, because I know about how far it is to FTFE. That was my yawn. I'm sorry. Hey, I tried to shave this because I'm like bearding up a little bit, but I fucked up. Like it's okay as a beard, I guess. But you see that hard line? Like I feel like Jebediah Beaver. The purpose was to, because this is longer, obviously, and I'm not used to that. So when it was growing, I was able to shave this with the length I used, and it looked fine because, of course, you didn't have a neck beard, but you also didn't have this like hard, like almost like chin strap line. But then when I did it this time, this is longer now, and I use the same size here, but then it created that like Jebediah Beaver look. So I guess I should be raising a farm in the morning or raising a barn. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be milking the cows and raising a barn, you know, because neck beard and a fedora. Ugh. Oh. That's Keith. It was like so many like there's such a descriptive image of how I would look that you entered into my mind when you said that. Tried changing the blades, you can't use them for a year before changing. Hey. No, I use a different trimmer bit you put on the end and it has lengths, and I fucked up on the length. I should have left this slightly longer. You don't want neck beard, but you don't want that hard transition like this. I don't like it. I gotta let it grow a little now, or else, you know, now I feel weird. Space Trucker, how's it going? I don't get it. I don't know. There's nothing to get. I'm being honest. I don't know. Start growing it like JL. I'm trying. I gotta get there. He's like wizardly now, isn't he, or something on that shirt? You could curl it under, no neck beard. If you grow that, you could get it long enough to curl it down. That's how you stay warm when it's cold out, right? You gotta wrap it around your neck. So barn raising for the Beaver altar placement soon. So before I go, I was hoping to have a piece of content out tomorrow. I am looking at the time and realizing I have a service call to do tomorrow, and so there's probably a pretty good chance the video won't be out tomorrow, which would mean Friday release, okay? And then I can't really tell you what I'm doing right now. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna, for reasons. But I am going to be not in this exact location from Sunday to Wednesday, but you'll probably know where I am once I'm there. Yeah, I know. Mystic. The Amish barn raising video? Wild. That's going to be on a different channel. That'll be on my Amish. That'll be on my Jebediah Beaver channel. Anyways, yeah. No, so little trip for me. Tiny little trip. Don't want to tell you where I'm going, but you'll know when I'm there because we'll probably end up doing a stream and chatting and hanging out. And may or may not be around other creators. Let's just leave it like that. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You guys will know. Come to Alberta. Keith, I will come to Alberta. I got to bring my wife to Banff one of these days. She's never seen it. But no, in this case, I'm going to be jet setting my way to America somewhere here. So, but I'm not going to tell you all where yet. You'll get to know soon. Okay. So, you'll probably find out Sunday or Monday, likely. Ooh, cryptic. I know. Vegas baby girl wishes she knew. She wishes she knew what I was talking about. I'll tell you. That Vegas baby girl always hanging out in my DMs like, oh, let me tag along. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, she doesn't fucking around. Vegas baby girl and I are great. She and I DM a little bit. It's fun. Let's see. Oh, and McAddict's Winnipeg. Well, I'm outside Winnipeg, so I'll be flying away from Winnipeg into America. Going to America. Just like Fievel when he went west. Poor little Fievel. Does anybody remember Fievel Goes West? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Fievel Goes West. Fievel Goes West was such a good movie. Those rodents, all they wanted is a better life. Poor Fievel. He got separated from his family. Oh, Fievel. Nope, Phil missed out on Fievel Goes West, everybody. I'm telling you, most of these people know. I have Fievel, have it on VHS. The VHS is classic. Hold on, 1991, Fievel Goes West. Here you go.
Now, if you're going to act like a dog, you got to sound like a dog. Now, let's hear you bark.
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at now. I don't remember that part. That might be like number 2. The fuck happened there? It's a training scene? I don't remember the movie at all. I wanted to find a trailer is what I was looking for. What the hell did I type up here? Fievel Goes West trailer. Oh, the classic trailer.
Somewhere.
Oh, that's getting us busted. That's a Disney music, isn't it?
A little mouse made a big journey.
The little mouse made a big journey, everybody. He gets on that ship and he's going to America.
Land.
America. What a place.
Yeah, they're going to a place, except I have to pause it because somebody's singing and Disney is ruthless. Or who owns this? Somebody owns this shit.
But got lost along the way.
Poor little guy. He just gets swept overboard.
He found a land of...
He lost his family, but he comes to America.
And adventure. A land of new beginnings.
That's right.
What's that?
See, they make friends with the fucking city pigeons. I think they go to New York. Well, yeah, it's Eiffel Tower, right? Or not Eiffel. Eiffel Tower. Holy shit, my brain just did a goddamn seizure moment. I meant to say the Statue of Liberty, and now I didn't. So, anyways. That's how ADHD works right there. I accessed the completely wrong word.
Tis more America.
America! Hey, no. I've been pausing this, Elizabeth. We got this, okay? So far, YouTube hasn't said shit about copyright yet. It'll scream at me in the app here.
Now someday is today.
Did somebody give me another donation that I missed on or something like that? Oh, no, it was the 550 Canadian from Epiphanies. And thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I know I said thank you. Thank you again for the 550 sticker. Bravo. Bravo. Thank you. Sorry. More Fievel Goes West, though. Come on.
As Steven Spielberg presents An American Tale. Fievel Goes West. The further adventures of the Mouskowitz family as they meet old friends.
Just pausing it for copyright reasons.
Tiger! And new enemies from the mean streets of New York City.
I see you're missing an eye, Pilgrim. That's right. I'm talking to you.
That's right. Fievel was a hero, guys.
Room for one and all.
This is the second one, though, isn't it? Oh, okay. So the first one is not Fievel Goes West. It's An American Tale. Ah, that's why I'm fucking it up. Here.
This holiday season, Universal Pictures brings you a very special motion picture experience.
Is it gonna be the same bullshit?
The first animated feature film presented by Steven Spielberg.
An American Tale. Yeah, it's the one.
The story of one family's journey to America and Fievel, their son, who got lost along the way.
Papa. Poor little guy washed overboard. I feel like nowadays they're all worried about kids, like the shit we used to watch. Be like fucking. Is anybody here? Let's just remind ourselves. Bambi's dad dying. That's right. Or Bambi's mom dies. Fucking hunters. Here we go. Just to remind everybody what our childhoods were like. Quick little Bambi. Run, Bambi, run. It's funny as I've been playing Way of the Hunter, actually, by the way. So his poor thing, she was running from my bullets just the other day. Just reminding you of your childhood, the childhood pain. Run, Bambi! God damn it! Mama's right behind me, right, Bambi? That's what he said. She said to himself. So I mean, people are like, think about the children. It's like, fuck, we used to grow up watching this shit. And a snowstorm? I didn't remember this at all. What a disgustingly sad scene. Mama's out there being harvested by hunters, and it's a snowstorm even. The ramen one went with hiss? Venison. Does he find Mummy? Oh, Dad. Here we go. Dad's basically okay. So I want to point this out. Okay, Dad is clearly the alcoholic father, because this child is terrified. Okay, and he didn't want to upset father because father's got a very stern hand. Okay. I killed her, or they killed her. Sorry. And by the way, see you later, kid. Right? Isn't that what happens? Oh no, they walk off together. Isn't that wonderful? I'm waiting for the alcoholic backhand here, though. Just see a little hoof come up. Shut up, Bambi. You listen to me when I fucking talk to you. Oh, sorry. Am I putting darker memories than there was in it? Sorry, maybe that's how I feel. All Dogs Go to Heaven is just as fucked up. It is. It really is. I loved that movie, though. I really did. All Dogs Go to Heaven is amazing. What part is it that I'm remembering in the movie, though, that like, oh man, don't remind me of these fucking movies. Like, why? That is... Why did you remind me of my pain?
Dogs Go to Heaven.
Man, what a classic.
You're the best friend I ever had.
You'll help me find a mommy and daddy?
I promise.
Oh,
Is that Burt Reynolds? Fuck. It's gonna say it right at the end with the voice of Burt Reynolds.
All dogs go to.
Where is it? Right here. Yeah, Burt Reynolds. Fuck, I nailed it. There you go, Burt Reynolds. Yeah, that's Burt. You know what I remember Burt from? It's funny. Cannonball Run. Mallory's Flingin' Archer. Mallory. Oh my god, Archer's such a good show. Oh my god. Is that Charlie and a female chili? YouTube itself suggested all dogs go to heaven for 2 weeks to me after my dog died. I'm not sure I appreciated that. You know what's funny is the other day I was telling Team, I'm like, I can't remember who started. I said to him, Team's like, fuck, he's like, fuck, I was just sent this like guy dying of cancer. Like when people put their like final like, oh, sorry, this is my checkout video, fuck, and you're like, oh shit, that sucks. I'm like, holy shit, YouTube just did that to me too. And then I watched the one because I was like, oh, that's sad. And then YouTube's like, oh, you want to see people dying of cancer? Fucking here you go. This guy's dying of cancer. That guy's never gonna make it. This guy died already. I'll give you a video, his big popper from like 3 weeks ago when he told you shit's going wrong. And if you fast forward, you'll find the bad news. But it's like, YouTube's just like, oh yeah, you want some shit piled on? Here you go. So make that, let that be a lesson to you, everybody. If you watch something on YouTube, YouTube's just gonna assume that you're just all about it all of a sudden. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Heat Shield, that YouTube suggested all dogs go to heaven. You probably typed something about your dog being sick or something like that into Google somewhere, like, or who knows, and YouTube was like, oh, this son of a bitch, he loves dogs. Like, you know. I recently got a pimple extracting close-up clip recommended. I don't know why. You know what? It's because a surprisingly large number of people like that shit, and they'll click on that, and then they'll be like, oh, it's interesting. Like, I've been listening because YouTube's been, like, recommending this really neat channel with, like, oh, fuck, I heard the most racist thing. This is crazy. I wonder if it gets in trouble. I want to see if it's got, like, a claim. Oh my god, this is actually a licensed song. I have to try to play just little enough to not get in trouble. But there's this. You know what? I can do it this way.
Sneak peek.
Here, what I want to do is I want to be Ninja Bobby Lee. It's funny. I'll do the Bobby Lee one because it's less likely to trigger. Here.
Who's this lady though?
Maybe I too could be ninja. I use my nunchucks even while feeding ducks. I throw my ninja stars.
Stop it. First of all,
Let's just hear the chorus again.
Please don't turn. It's gonna put me in a worse.
I learned my ninja kick while watching Netflix. And you guys, you know what? I might do it. I might be a ninja soon. I gonna be ninja.
If I was that Asian lady.
I gonna be ninja.
Turn it off!
Okay, it's off.
Alright, if I was that Asian lady, I'd order.
I gonna chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown.
This is the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life, and it makes me laugh so hard.
Who's this lady though?
Maybe I too could be ninja.
So, I just found out about this the other day when I saw this short. This is so crazy. Like, so there's this like Brittany Murphy chick or Jennifer Murphy. She makes Murphy beds or some bullshit. And then I guess they're having some big gala thing, so she decides to sing. And I think it's great because I want you to see, like, there's like one Asian at this part. Tone though, and it's like, it's crazy right here. And you're like, I'm not all about wokeness, but I do think that, first of all, the song is about ninja and she talks about Chinatown. Ninjas are Japanese, not Chinese. Like, it's historically, it's like culturally inaccurate and culturally insensitive. It's not, she fucking.
Chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown.
She even bobs her head to it. This one Asian chick right here, the only Asian chick in the whole party, not impressed. Hold on, we'll jump into the song.
To his place, open my ninja case.
It's like it goes on forever, and the comment is, I'm gonna get to comment after one more chunk.
Chop, chop, chow down, take chow down to Chinatown. I find out
This fucking Asian chick right here. And then when they're done, oh, this is amazing. Okay, so it's done. Everybody's like, yeah, you're amazing, baby. And then, hold on. I want you to listen in the background now. And they fucking taste it with fucking kung fu fighting. Oh my god. Oh shit. What was I about to do though? It was the comment. It was this comment down here. Oh man. Oh, I thought it was the main comment. I'm sure I saw it higher. Right there. Oh, I thought it was the top comment. Somebody had said, I want to put a word out to the real MVP, the cameraman that kept that single Asian lady in frame for like 90-something% of the song. Yeah, right here. Can we take a moment to thank the cameraman for keeping the only Asian person in the room in frame during 98% of this video? Oh, we're squirreling hard. That's all we're doing now. That's all we do. That's where we're at. We're squirreling, baby. Squirrel time. You don't like squirrels? I like squirrels. Anyways, on that note, I think was the word I was looking for. We'll probably, night all. Tanny, we're gonna shut her down right now. Anyways, that was fun. Hey, no better way to end the stream than displaying some very culturally insensitive material. And on that note, I do want to put. I didn't read that properly, Gold Dinger. I'm sorry. Here. 5, I did see it when it came in. I thank you very much. 5 Australian dollars. Here's some rubles to laugh watching your squirrel chasing session. All hail the Beaver. Send all your money so he can heal us all. You know what? You guys have earned this. Honestly, it was a big night, and I really appreciate the donations. We're going to do this one last time before we take off. We're going to American money meme here. I know that's Australian, but you know what, Gold Dinger? I'm gonna give you an honorary. That is going to be considered an honorary 4 American dollars. Okay.
$1.83 American. What are we gonna get with that?
That's right.
Gotta love that. Fine.
Dinner is served. Would the masters care for anything else?
Think we're good. Thanks.
Oh. A nickel.
I appreciate it, Gold Digger.
You see this? I quit. I opened my own hotel.
That's right. He's opening his own damn hotel now. Damn. I want to go to Bratislava. It looks like our money goes a long ways. Always love your streams. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Laters and hugs all. Okay, well, you know what? On the way out, because I can... Cheers to everybody who came and watched, and cheers to everybody who donated, everybody who couldn't donate, everybody who couldn't be here because we lost them. I'll pour an imaginary drink out because my keyboard's below it right now, so it's imaginary. But you know, to the people that we've lost, to the people that are here, and to the people that don't give a shit. It's not their problem if I drink. Oh my God. This stuff is just hate in a bottle, I swear to God. It stings my tongue. Anyways, it's a good cheers. Release the Kraken, says Casey Cooper. Anyways, on that note, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I do want to put an extra thank out to NANA, who may or may not be with us because he might be drunk passed out, which is a great night for you, bud. Or maybe I'm calling him out for something that's not occurring, but he made the claim, not me, okay? So I do want to put the thank out because we got 10 extra members from that. If you are a member, whether you're, if you had a membership donated to you in the last few months and you're not, and you don't have one now because I dragged my heels and I haven't done that makeup stream, just reach out to me on Discord. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to put the video up afterwards as an unlisted video. I don't really care if people see it. I just don't really want it to muddy the channel and the growth of the channel. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably post it as an unlisted. People can share it. They can toss it around, whatever. It just won't be going as a listed video on the channel. So yeah, only 5 months late. Liz, you were right. 100%. It was like December I made this. Like December, January, February, March, April. Oh my God. If I can find the Italian sausages, it is Italian sausage time. That's right, Casey Cooper. You are right. So on that note, I really want to say thank you. I appreciate it. It's been 3 hours, and honestly, I'm one of those. It's one of those things like Team says where I would love bologna. Ooh, bologna. I like bologna, like a piece here and there, but I'm not a big bologna fan. No, Italian sausage, like proper spice sausage. Put them in a pan, a little bit of water, steam them a little bit, stab them with a knife. You got to get all that orange fat out. It's good. Then you taste the leanness of the food, not the fat, orange fat they add. Mwah. Yeah, change the water a couple times because it'll get saturated with the fat. Change it out, and then that way you get a real good lean, mild sausage. Salami's good too. Like salami. Anyways, Gons Raber, I'm sorry it's the morning, and I'm sorry you didn't get here earlier. Because 6 a.m. it'd be hard for you. But I do have to take off. I do appreciate everybody coming. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody who came. Phil, Leitis. I can't pronounce things. Casey, Elizabeth, Heat Shield, Keith, Anaceto, NANA out there, Gons Raber. I've said that before, and I think I'm slightly intoxicated. Tanny, we got Keith Newton, Killicuts, Golddinger, of course, Pat, Phil, Taipan, who else we got here? Sally Skellington, Misty-Eyed Girl, Semler, PDX, Space Trucker, Lord, It's Probin Time, McAddicts, and Epiphanies, and so many more that it's hard to actually say everybody's name. So I really appreciate you being here. I do love you all, and don't worry, you'll know where I am when I'm there come Sunday, Monday. Okay? But keep your eyes peeled for another piece of content. Like I said, it's either releasing tomorrow or Friday. Probably Friday. Tomorrow is a little busier, but you never know. I might get the streak of activity here and just get her done tonight. So have a good night, everybody. And honestly, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Later, Gators.